क्या सीन? हेलो। द थिंग्स आर प्रिटी इंटरेस्टिंग। और कल तो गाइस वापस एक और चीज होने वाली है। कैसे हो सारे? पहले तो आ जाओ। आई नो नोटिफिकेशंस लेट जा रही है। भाई क्या रुक जा बारिश। अभी बस हो गया, एक बार के लिए बस हो गया भाई। 5 दिन से बरसे ही जा रही। मूविंग्स। एम आई बी आर। अतुल भाई वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम। क्या हाल? एम आई बी आर का क्या हो गया? नहीं, एम आई बी आर का आज नहीं है। आज करमाइन कॉर्प और एनआरजी है अब इसके बाद। और अभी है एडवर्ड वर्सेस बिग बी एल। सो एडवर्ड बीबीएल अभी देखेंगे अपन। 6 तारीख है ना एडवर्ड बीबीएल के। केजीओ। वो सब क्या हालचाल? अतुल भाई नए हो तो यार लाइक सब्सक्राइब कर देना। थोड़ा सा मोटिवेशन आ जाता है, हेल्प हो जाती है। अरे एक तो ये हर्ष भाई कैसा मैसेज है ये? मेरे को इधर चैट खोलनी थी, हर्ष भाई खाना खाते हुए आ गए। लाइक मारिस। भाई मैड्रिड के अलावा कोई भी स्पोर्ट में ऑल स्टार लाइनअप चलती नहीं दिखी। सही है। दैट इज तो देयर, कुछ नहीं कर सकते उसका। हर जगह ऑल स्टार लाइनअप गायब हो रही है। मजा आएगा लेकिन एक्चुअली अच्छा है। ऑल स्टार लाइनअप्स नहीं चल रही है, बढ़िया है। तुम सोचो भाई, नया न्यू नोटिफिकेशन से आया ये तो लाइक मारिस। बढ़िया है बढ़िया है। मैच चालू होने वाला है, रुक जाओ मैच लगा देता हूँ, नहीं तो भाई लेट भी हो जाएगा अपन। और अभी तो अपन फुल स्क्रीन पे चैटिंग चैटिंग खेल रहे हैं। अभी एक ही स्ट्रीम है, ये बढ़िया है। साले नहीं तो स्ट्रीम चेंज कर करके दिक्कत हो जाती थी अपने को। इधर जाओ उधर जाओ, उधर जाओ इधर जाओ, उधर जाओ इधर जाओ, उधर जाओ इधर जाओ। हर जगह भाई एक ही दिन में 4-4 मैचेस की वॉच पार्टी होती थी। 4 मैचेस देखते थे एक दिन में। कांगकांग ईडीजी में है ना शायद। ये सर स्मॉगी कांगकांग ये सब दिखेंगे आज। देखो मोस्टली 2-0 ही दिख रहा है मेरे को। चीचू कांगकांग जेनी नोबडी। स्मॉगी गायब है अभी। स्मॉगी गायब है। आई मिस्ड कि स्मॉगी गायब है। बाकी स्मॉगी भी बढ़िया प्लेयर है यार। राइट नाउ ही इज ऑन अ ब्रेक। तो कोच भाई खेल रहे हैं, साइंड कोच है इनका मालूम। साइंड इनका कोच है। ईएनसी कब से है? ईएनसी नवंबर में है। बट स्मोगी क्रेजी है, स्मोगी ब्रेक पे है। कुछ तो काम वाम आ गया उसको। ईएनसी देखो क्वालिफायर्स चालू हो चुके हैं। अपन डोटा में बाहर हो गए हैं। वैलोरेंट में अपन क्वालिफाई कर चुके हैं। और ट्रैकमेनिया में अपन ने क्वालिफाई कर लिया है। और कौन सा है? पबजी मोबाइल या बीजीएमआई कुछ भी पकड़ लो, उसके क्वालिफायर्स होने वाले हैं। वी आर नॉट डायरेक्टली क्वालिफाइड, अपने को क्वालिफायर्स खेलने पड़ेंगे। तो वो एक चीज है। भाई कितना कुछ है, बहुत सारे टाइटल्स है। वो तो मेरे को याद आया अतुल भाई, आप थे चैट में हांगकांग वाले गेम में। आई नो आई रिमेम्बर आई रिमेम्बर। यू आर देयर इन द हांगकांग गेम। एक स्ट्रीम 2 मैचेस। अरे काफी अपन बहुत कुछ कवर करने वाले हैं। अपन पूरा ईडब्ल्यूसी कवर करेंगे, पता है? एसीटीवीएल का पूरा ईडब्ल्यूसी कवर करेंगे, गॉडल का पूरा ईडब्ल्यूसी कवर करेंगे। ट्रू रिपर्स ऑनर ऑफ किंग्स भी अपन शायद ट्राई करेंगे। अभी मैच मैप्स क्या है भाई? अभी मैप्स है लोटस ब्रीज एंड सनसेट। मैं बोल रहा हूँ कांग कांग लोटस पे तो मार देगा। ब्रीज डाउटफुल है। लव यू भाई, गुड मेमोरी। मैं बोलूँ ना, मेरे को याद है हांगकांग हांगकांग वाले दिन पे एक्चुअली अपन ने 100 वॉचिंग क्रॉस किया था। मेरे को 100 में से कम 70-80 लोगों का नाम याद है। अगर वो चैट में किसी दिन दिखे ना मेरे को, मैं पकड़ लूंगा कि हांगकांग वाली स्ट्रीम से। भाई तो कल से एक और टूर्नामेंट स्टार्ट हो रहा है, तो दैट इज ऑल्सो देयर। कल से वीसीडी पैसिफिक का एलसीक्यू चालू हो रहा है, जिसमें अपनी इंडिया की लाइनअप खेलने वाली है। इंडिया के तीन प्लेयर्स है बेसिकली उसमें। अपना फैंस भाई, अपना गेम ही फैंसी यूनाइटेड के सामने लग गए। ये देखो, दिखाता हूं मैं। इतनी देर से मैं चलो फुल स्क्रीन पे था, अभी मैं आता हूं इस स्क्रीन पे। एलजीएस की वॉच पार्टी, एलजीएस नहीं मिले हैं राइट्स अपने को। ईडब्ल्यूसी के सारे राइट्स है, एलजीएस मुश्किल है। एलजीएस के लिए मेल डाला है मैंने, बट नहीं है। एलजीएस के बहुत मुश्किल से मिलते हैं। अभी गेम चालू नहीं हुआ है ना। लेट्स टॉक अबाउट दिस एज वेल। ये देखो, अपना फैंसी यूनाइटेड वर्सेस नो सैलरी पेक का है। एंड एल विकिपीडिया खोल देते हैं, एलजीएस के भी देख लेते हैं क्या सीन है। अपने को परमिट्स देखो, वालों की एक भी ऐसा टूर्नामेंट नहीं है जिसके अपने को परमिशंस नहीं हो। अपने को सबकी परमिशंस मिल जाती है। वीसीडी वीसीएल पैसिफिक एलसीक्यू। बट एलजीएस देखना पड़ेगा। ग्रुप डी है ना अपना। ग्रुप डी में मिल जाएगा। ग्रुप डी में मिल जाएगा, एक्चुअली पूरा ही मिल गया है। एक सेकंड मेरे को मेल चेक करने दो। फोन पे मेल चेक कर दो। मैचेस कब से है वो मैटर करता है। अपन सीधा प्लेऑफ्स, अपन शायद फाइनल्स के लिए क्वालिफाइड है या प्लेऑफ्स के लिए अपन क्वालिफाइड है। अपन ग्रुप डी में थे, ये देखो। ऑरोरा है, एसएटीएल है, टीम विजन है, इंटरफोर्स है, पायरेट्स है, टीएलएन पायरेट्स है, जिपलाइन माफिया है, डायनोज है। अच्छा है, आरआरक्यू वगैरह उसी में चले गए। बढ़िया है, बढ़िया है। दिक्कत नहीं है अपने को, हो सकते हैं अपन। कल से मैचेस है ना। ए वर्सेस बी, ए वर्सेस बी, ए वर्सेस बी, ए वर्सेस बी, ए वर्सेस बी। अपने मैचेस कब है वो देखने हैं। अपन सिर्फ ग्रुप डी करेंगे। भाई अपने एसीटीएल एपिक्स वाले रोटेशन में खुद जाते हैं, बाकी मारते तो बढ़िया है। यस सर। देखो मैं सही बात बताऊं, मैंने एपिक्स उतना क्लोजली नहीं फॉलो किया है। सो मेनी थिंग्स आर देयर जो मैं एपिक्स में सीखने वाला हूं। तुम लोगों के साथ ही मैं सीखूंगा। इंजॉय करेंगे अपन उसी हिसाब से। फिर देखेंगे कि व्हाट इज हैपनिंग। भाई ये #12 पीछा नहीं छोड़ती। ALWS का ग्रैंड फाइनल्स ऑलमोस्ट जीत गया। ये देखो #12 अपना पीछा नहीं छोड़ती भाई। If you remember, you remember. The OG is always remember. मेरे को खुद नहीं पता एपेक्स का इतना, वही बात है ना, मैंने मैंने तुम लोगों के लिए ही लिया है। 7 तारीख। कल कितने बजे से? 8:30 बजे से। भाई बैंड बजने वाली है अपनी। बैंड भाई। माफ कर दो #12। या ओजीज रिमेम्बर द हैशटैग 12 वाला चीज भाई। 8 तारीख को भी 4 बजे से गेम्स है। बट कैसा है ना, अपने को ये पहले अपन वैलो अपना एपेक्स से पहले अपन वैलो कवर करेंगे, बिकॉज यहाँ इंडियन प्लेयर्स खेल रहे हैं भाई। इसको अपन मिस आउट नहीं कर सकते। मैच चालू हुआ गया, मैच अभी भी नहीं हुआ। यहाँ इंडियन प्लेयर्स खेल रहे हैं, ये मिस आउट नहीं कर सकते। इसके रिलेटेड अपन रील भी डालेंगे आज स्ट्रीम के बाद। मेरी रील ऑलमोस्ट रेडी है, ऑलमोस्ट ऑलमोस्ट रेडी है। वॉरजोन तो क्वालिफाई नहीं हुए हैं शायद, यस मॉडल हुई है। परफेक्ट परफेक्ट। देखो मैं मेजरली पता है एंटरटेन अपन कहाँ पे होंगे, ईएफसी में होंगे, चेस में होंगे, पबजी मोबाइल अपन देखेंगे भाई। जिस गेम ने एट द एंड अपने को ग्लोबल मैप पे डाला है, उसको तो देखे कम से कम कि स्पोर्ट्स में इंडिया कुछ तो है। वो देखेंगे, ट्रैकमेनिया देखेंगे। और क्या गेम्स हैं, और एपेक्स देखेंगे ही देखेंगे। बट एपेक्स का वही है, एपेक्स में अगर टाइमिंग्स क्लैश हुए तो सीन है, सीन है। निहाल एक्चुअली वेरी विनेबल दिस ईयर। अभी ब्लिट्स चैंपियनशिप जीता, अभी बुलेट जीता। वही ब्लिट्स है, बुलेट जीता, ब्लिट्स थोड़ी थी। 15 गेम वन साइड हरा है, 15 गेम वन साइड हरा है। हाँ भाई बोल रहे ना 15 गेम हराना, दैट इज समथिंग क्रेजी। मैं देखो मेरे को चेस उतना अच्छा खेलना नहीं आता, पर समझ पूरा आता है। तो मैं चेस को जब से फॉलो करते आ रहा हूँ ना, मैं ईडब्ल्यूसी से पहले चेस को फॉलो करते आ रहा हूँ। मुकेश का वो BO7, उससे पहले और चेस ओलंपियाड, उससे पहले इतने टूर्नामेंट्स, ऑल थैंक्स टू वन एंड ओनली समय रहना। मेरे को एक्चुअली उसने लॉकडाउन में बहुत हेल्प किया टू गेट टुगेदर विद चेस। बहुत मजा आया, मतलब समय रैना के साथ चेस देखने में बहुत मजा आता था। मैंने खेलना तो शुरू ही नहीं किया कभी, मैं बता रहा हूँ ना, मैंने खेला ही नहीं कभी। आई नेवर प्लेड। लारॉक, रोज, लॉइटा, क्रिविन, लवर्स रॉक, नो बडी साइन, जेनी, JMKK और चीचू। मैं बोलता रहा हूँ मैंने खेला कभी था ही नहीं। बट मजा इतना आता था ना समय की स्ट्रीम्स देख देख के, बहुत एंटरटेनमेंट मिलता था। अरे सिड भाई का कोई वीडियो आया है, 1 सेकेंड। सिड भाई ने कुछ तो डाला है। अर्निंग्स रिवील की है यार, किक शुरू करना है यार अपने को भी। अपने अगर थोड़े बहुत नंबर्स बढ़ जाए, अपन भी किक शुरू करते हैं। मतलब यार किक का प्रमोशन कौन करके देगा, लेकिन वही बात है ना, यूट्यूब पे अपने को इतनी सी वॉचिंग आती है। मेरे को किक पे वॉचिंग चाहिए तो क्या करना चाहिए, किक पे एक अलग लेवल का गेम है। सेठ भाई तो पायल वाले पर बोल रहे हैं, ब्रॉडकास्ट पर, हाँ वो भी देख रहा हूँ। अपने को किक चालू करना है यार, देखो यूट्यूब उतना पे नहीं कर रहा अपने को, बिकॉज पूरा अभी तक मोनेटाइज ही नहीं हुआ है। किक पे पैसा और फ्रीडम ज्यादा है, बट वॉचिंग नहीं है ना अपने पास। मैं तो चाहता हूँ, मैं तो लिजिट चाहता हूँ कि एटलीस्ट अपन किक पे जाए ना। मेरा प्लान पता है क्या है, ईडब्ल्यूसी जैसे ही ईडब्ल्यूसी खत्म होगा ना, अपने पास बहुत टाइम है। ईडब्ल्यूसी खत्म करने के बाद अपने पास बहुत टाइम है। वी विल गो टू किक, मूवी नाइट्स करेंगे, चिल आउट्स करेंगे, वॉच अलॉन्ग्स करेंगे। मूवी नाइट भाई, वहां मूवीज देख सकते हो तुम, पता है तुम्हारी ऑडियंस के साथ मूवीज सीरीज सब देख सकते हो, कोई रोक टोक नहीं है। हॉप इनटू द गेम। पहले लोको हुआ करता था, इफ यू नो यू नो। या सर, लोको से पहले तो निमो टीवी हुआ करता था, अगर याद है तो। वाइपर स्ट्रीम किया करता था निमो टीवी पे, गाने वाने लगा के। EDG barriers up on map number 1. BBL choosing to come back to a map that has seen losses for them recently, but they always put up a fight. हम 2019 वाले लौंडे हैं यार, अपने को तो ये सब पता ही होगा, मैं तो वही बोल रहा हूँ। Being a 2019 गए, जो इतने टाइम से देखते आ रहा है सब कुछ, काफी इंटरेस्टिंग चीजें हैं भाई। 18, हाँ एक्चुअली 18, बट 19 की यादें ताजा है। 18 तो ठीक है, 19 की यादें ताजा है। पीएम देखो, PMIS और ये जीते ठीक है, लेकिन जो बर्लिन की यादें थी ना, जब बर्लिन की यादें थी ना भाई, वो मजा आ गया था। बर्लिन वाली यादें तो आज तक जिंदा है। 30 लाख का नेड, बर्लिन की यादें। एक्चुअली तब पता चला था कि हाँ, इंटरनेशनल स्टेज पे कितनी मेहनत लगती है। तब तो नए नए गए थे, ऐसा लगा था भाई जाएंगे, एंजॉय करेंगे। कनेक्ट नहीं हुआ। हेलो, इतना विफी विफी नहीं करना। अरे एक तो ये इनकी स्ट्रीम अटकती है ना बीच बीच में। इनकी स्ट्रीम अटक रही है, अपना नहीं अटक रहा कुछ भी। सोचो। Yeah, I like that. A little bit more tempered from the defense. Back that early in this game, they're sitting back, playing the retake. बर्लिन ने एक्चुअली ना बताया था अपने को कि भाई अपन कितना ज्यादा पानी में है और कितनी मेहनत करना जरूरी है। उसके बाद ऑरेंज रॉक आई, IND आई। हर बार इंटरनेशनल जाके 16-17 मैच के आखिरी मैच सेकंड में मार के आ जाते। इट इज व्हाट इट इज। बट इस बार उम्मीद है, इस बार बंदे गए ना प्रैक्टिस करने। मैं देख रहा हूँ, मैचेस भी देख रहा हूँ, वो मैचेस भी देख रहा हूँ। अभी थोड़ा ओजी विप कर रही है, बट भरोसा है कर लेंगे, भरोसा है कर लेंगे। क्रिविन 70 HP। ओ भाई, जेनी ने एक मार दिया फिर भी। चीचू गेट्स वन एज वेल। गन्स 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 गए हगास। रोज आके बचा लिया, रोज आके राउंड बचा लिया एक तरीके से। रोज आके राउंड बचा लिया। मैंने CS, मैं वो टाइम पे CS खेलता था पता है, वो भी दोस्त के अकाउंट पे, मेरे अकाउंट पे नहीं। फेसिट लेवल 6 तक गया था मैं, फेसिट लेवल 10 भी नहीं हुआ था मेरा। दोस्त का अकाउंट था, मैंने ले लिया था और वो अकाउंट फिर मेरा बना के खेलता था। दोस्त पढ़ने चले गया था, मैं कैफे जाके CS खेलता था। वो टाइम पे अंकित पंत नया नया मेरे को देखने मिला था, लाइक अंकित पंत के स्ट्रीम्स में देखता था, और वो बंदे को मैं आज तक देखते आ रहा हूँ। ए बाय द वे, मैंने म्यूट किया गलती से। भाई EDG फंस रही है। एक सेकंड, थोड़ा गेम पे भी ध्यान देते हैं। Nobody. Krevin. भाई ये EDG फंसा देगी हाँ, अगर ऐसा खेली तो। EDG फंसा देगी। कांग कांग हमेशा लास्ट कैसे बच रहे हैं? भाई ऐसे कैसे? How he just frags out like this? The last two of LaRock and Kreven are going to try and group up together. How he frag outs like this? Because they've given him so many opportunities. भाई ये एक करके सब ले जा रहा है। बचा लिया क्रेवन ने एट द एंड। कांग कांग but he was shut down at the last second.
What an attempt by
Kong, Kong!
A reason to never give up hope shown plain and clear right there. This
Bro, the way he just shot every bullet. मेरा हो गया था ये फोर्थ प्रैक पे, मेरे को लगा एस ले जाएगा.
stepped into their sight lines. And yeah, listen, you're on your feet. This is the signature of BBL. They
अबे बज रहे हो, बचाया है.
stand up when they get one. But that round right there, although it's a big win for BBL, it was very nearly a lightning fast start for EDG. It's certainly given them so
ले ये बीबीएल की. ओए, ये कांग का हर बार क्या पता है, वो राइट क्लिक मार के एक मार देता है, फिर सोचता है कि हाँ मैं गन ले लूंगा. बट ट्रैप तोड़ो बाबा.
There is no remaining hope. 4-0 for BBL, a swift end to this round.
अंकंग भाई एसीएस इसका सबसे ऊपर इस डब्ल्यूसी एमवीपी. यस सर. मजा आएगा इस बार, लेकिन एपेक्स देखने मजा आएगा, चेस देखने मजा आएगा, ईएएफसी देखने मजा आएगा. नहीं नहीं, EDG नॉट लुकिंग कोऑर्डिनेटेड. भाई अलग अलग जा रहे हैं, एक एक करके जा रहे हैं, तो फंसेंगे ही ना. हाई लो सेटअप टूट गया, मेरे को आज तक समझता नहीं है हाई लो सेटअप कैसे कोई तोड़ सकता है. ये ट्रैप देखो, ये ट्रैप देखो. अब ये हाई लो सेटअप ये टूटेगा ही नहीं, पर ईडीजी के हाई लो सेटअप्स टूट रहे हैं. ये तो ट्रैप हाई लो सेटअप है, मैं बंदों की बात कर रहा हूँ. बैकडैश. अब ये इस मोमेंट पे कुत्ता किया, कुत्ते के साथ साथ जाना भी था. अबे कितने मारेगा रोज अकेले. खा गया उधर, फ्लैंक आया, फ्लैंक का इन्फो देखा ही नहीं हमने और खा गए. Are we going to witness a 13-0 today? अभी तक 13-0 नहीं हुआ है EWC में. तो आज रात को 3 रील्स आएगी. अगर आज 13-0 होता है अभी, तो 3 रील्स आएगी. 3, 1 2 भी नहीं, 3 आएगी. 3 कंटेंट की भरमार है फिर. होप्स लगा रहे. रिकॉन नहीं तोड़ भाई, रिकॉन तो तोड़ दो. इफ यू वोंट ब्रेक द रिकॉन, कहीं ना कहीं से तो पड़ेगी ना. कहीं अल्टियां कनेक्ट नहीं हो रही, कहीं अल्टियां कनेक्ट नहीं हो रही. बट EDG हील करवा लेगी, स्काई है ना. डोर पे देखना पड़ेगा. द सीज इज गुड, द नेड इज परफेक्ट. बढ़िया लवर्स रॉक. हाफ करके उड़ जा. 6-0 भाई, ये स्पीड रन है. बट ऐसे फेक नहीं दे सकते ना. फेक देना तो चाह रहे, ऐसे फेक देके क्या करोगे. समझो, जब तक तुम रिकॉन नहीं तोड़ोगे, रिकॉन तोड़ोगे तो भी फेक तो हो ही जाएगा. पोजी तो दे ही दोगे. वहां वाइस आवाज कर ही रहा है, वाइस की फ्लैश करवा के आवाज करवा लो, मैटर खत्म. बहुत सारे ऑप्शंस है फेक करवाने के. तुम जेट के साथ फेक करवाना सोच रहे हो, बहुत मुश्किल होएगा. इधर या तो तुम ऐसा कर सकते हो कि या स्काई का एक यूटिल यहां डलवा दो, क्योंकि ना पेड है तुम पे. क्लियर कट है ना वो तो. भाई एक तो ये म्यूजिक जो है ना, मैं लेजिट बताऊं, ये म्यूजिक ऐसा लगता है कोई वॉर लड़ने जा रहे हैं, क्योंकि तोड़ भी नहीं रहे. एग्जैक्टली. EDG इज नॉट लुकिंग EDG. लाइक मैच से पहले अपन प्री मैच जो बात कर रहे थे, कि ईडीजी जैसा खेलेगी, वैसा बिल्कुल नहीं खेल रही है। मुझे बोलना नहीं चाहिए पर दे आर प्लेइंग लाइक ग्लोबल स्पोर्ट्स। क्या क्रेजी बारिश हो रहा है ना। क्रेजी शिट। यस सर।
First trip. It's not there.
क्रेवन का ये देखो 12-8 चल रहा है। क्रेवन इज 12-1। आज वापस असेंडेंट आ गया। नेक्स्ट ड्यूलिस्ट मैं ही हूँ। वाह विंटेज भाई, खेल खेल के जी में खेलना है आपको। अब तो जी भी नहीं रही, अब तो RNTX हो गई। ये भी इन्फो है कि रबल क्रॉस हुआ होगा। भाई गाजियाबाद में नहीं हो रही, यहाँ तो 4 दिन हो गए, रुक ही नहीं रही है। तैर के जा रहे लोग। लैरोक ये क्यों किया इसने? अच्छा बेट आउट भाई, रोज के लिए बेट आउट करवा दिया। दिस इज सम क्रेजी शिट ऑन्स भाई। यहाँ अकाल पड़ा है, यहाँ लोग तैर के जा रहे। नो पानी, और यहाँ इतना पानी हो गया है कि भाई पागल हो गए लोग। लीजिए विंटेज भाई। Bro, it's 7-0, 8-0 on cards.
Lost in the moment.
Or maybe he was 2-3 and just went.
8-0 on cards, bro.
LaRock's taking them all again. I gotta get in there. Well, 7-0 start for EDG. Again, that read from BBL.
मुंबई तो डूब गया इधर। वही बोल रहा हूँ, मुंबई डूब गई भाई। वसई विरार तो ज्यादा ही डूब गए, हम तो फिर भी कम डूबे।
They've got a lot of pistols. They've got some ultimates to play with. In particular, if Sign can get into a good position, remove weapons on a retake, that could be huge. And they are moving towards the place where there's only one man holding. The problem is that one man is Lover's Rock. He'll get out quickly, and he's going back in for another.
एक मारा, भाग नहीं पाया। दूसरा गया।
Last time they played this map, he was an unstoppable force that they had to deal with, and
किधर रहे हो? मैं बाइंडर हूँ।
An opportunity though. Kankan has been given an operator. The one glimmer of hope in this map so far was him in that 1v5, which almost got them their first round. This he's gonna hope.
नहीं रे लाला, वो ऑप नहीं जानी थी कांकां के हाथ में।
Can Kankan win them the round? Well, his teammate and nobody's already gone, but he still stands with the operator.
ओ ऑप मिस किया कुंकुंग ने। कुंकुंग मिसिंग ऑप।
There is no chance he's able to correct.
मैं न्यू मुंबई, मैं अभी आया था पुणे घूमने। पुणे देखो, पुणे इज अ ग्रेट सिटी फॉर कॉर्पोरेट्स एंड फॉर वन मोर थिंग, क्लब्स एंड ऑल। बट क्लब में जाने के बाद जो होता है, कांकांग का कुमकुम भाग्य हो गया भाई। कांकांग मिसिंग, दिस वाज नॉट ऑन माय कार्ड्स इन 2026।
Utility instead of having to watch it all be destroyed and dissipated.
लॉयटा भाई नहीं कर रहा क्या? कर लिया।
As EDG come back in with another buy, rifles there, the ult from Signed, and a much more direct approach. The slow play has left BBL with all the info to work with, and so instead they're going to pick up the pace.
And the problem is this C site thus far has
Yes.
been a nightmare. The Rock actually taking a little bit of damage through the ball.
अरे ये लरॉक को कोई रोको भाई।
Cages up. And this time, the weaponry is going to be removed. A faster pace take. Loiter was trying to escape with his ultimate. The showstopper.
दो फटेंगे, एक ही फटा।
Double, but it's only one. An advantage for the first time in a while. Kreven also down, but Rose already brings things back to even. Ults being popped on either side.
भाई साहब।
Kankan and Gianni now has to try and find one of them with the ult, and he won't manage to do so.
नहीं, ये राउंड कैसे जा सकता है हाथ से ईडीजी के?
Operator shot missed, but he will deal with Rose. And the
ये कैसे गया?
It's a nice try from Gianni, but still they can't find a round.
Excellent C's coming out of Rose. This looked like a round.
ये राउंड कैसे गया भाई?
And previously, it's been all about the game plan.
उनके खुद के 2 क्लब्स है. Yes sir.
They've had the info, they've had the right people in the right place in almost every.
भाई लेकिन ये कैसे जा सकता है? एक तो नियॉन पे तुम अल्टी मारने का सोच रहे हो रेस की. इट्स इम्पॉसिबल कि उसको वो अल्टी कनेक्ट होगी अगर उसके पास डैश बचा हुआ है. वो स्लाइड करके जूप पकड़ के निकलेगा. क्रेवन 14 और 2 है. चलो मैक्स लॉस बोनस ट्रिगर हो चुका है. प्लांट भी मिला था. एक्सपेक्ट द अनएक्सपेक्टेड. जीजीज, अरे जीजीज तो है. आई एम वेटिंग कि कहीं 13-0 नहीं दिखे मेरे को.
Indeed, they're up against EDG in this exact moment. And then since then, it didn't look like things had.
Guys, 6 लोग देख रहे हो, make sure to hit that like and subscribe.
And they've come in today with answers.
मार्डी क्या है भाई, मेरे को भी आइडिया नहीं है.
EDG.
मेरे को सच्ची आइडिया नहीं है.
They are running out of runway. Of course, they came into this tournament with one of their star players missing. It's no doubt that it was going to be difficult, but last time out they showed that they could compete.
राम राम टिकट भाई आइए. राम राम नॉक्स भाई, क्या हाल?
Today has looked different though. Into the seaside they go again and into the.
क्रेवन हिल ही नहीं रहा है जब. I am done with this game. 4 मार दिए.
This is a slaughter. The last man standing will be signed. Another attempt.
उसने 3 मारे हैं. उसने भी 3 मारे हैं. भाई उसने भी 3 मारे हैं.
Before a singular round goes the 3 shots.
I just want to know one thing. भाई बीबीएल वाले क्या खा के आए हैं? इंडिविजुअल ब्रिलियंस पे भी राउंड नहीं निकल रहा है. दस 0 हमारे साथ के. This match should be counted as harassment.
He's gone for the TP towards the stairs. Nobody's home. BBL playing a bit more passive, falling back. Lloyd is going to be on that backside with plenty of support.
भगा दिया भाई रोज ने.
But 4 players here for BBL. They are ready every single time, and this one will be no different. Chichu though.
2v2.
Lifeline with that pick.
2v2. ये 13-0 कैंसिल आउट हो सकता है.
He's tagged up low. Sign trying to bait them into a fight, and he's done so, but Kreven just isn't losing any fights today.
नहीं होगा कैंसिल. It is going to be a 13-0.
Boss of BBL. I think he's only had 2.
उम्मीद है जगाते हैं कि 13-0 कैंसिल कर देंगे. भाई सैंडविच खाता हूं मैं तब तक. बहुत क्रेजी बना है भाई.
Stepping up to the plate for one, but
क्या कॉन्फिडेंस है.
shuts him down, and it's left to sign 1 against 3. Last time he was in a clutch, he got 3 before going down.
Doesn't have the spike.
That's a big problem.
क्या कॉन्फिडेंस है ये बीबीएल का. दे आर ड्राई पिकिंग.
Completely play with their heads. But just look at the position that Lovers Rock is locked in.
भाई ऐसा ड्राई पिक. भाई मैं 50 के में एक डिसेंट पीसी बिल्ड हो सकता है क्या? 50 नहीं, आप 70 तक चले जाओगे तो हो जाएगा. एटलीस्ट यू ट्राई टू गेट 30-50 और 30-60. और उसमें भी प्राइजेस क्या चल रहे हैं अभी उसको डिपेंड.
And it is not to be the case. A 12-0.
Bro, you never expect this from a team like EDG. China region की #1 टीम है ये.
and completely change how this map went last time around. I don't
और हम ऑल गेमर्स से हार कैसे गए?
thought this would be a 12-0 half.
I'm crashing out right now.
You know, even with changes, with BBL picking it again, you want to think that they've got some solutions, but not that they've completely cracked the code.
हम ऑल गेमर से कैसे हार सकते हैं यार?
This is even in the moments.
यहाँ EDG #1 टीम होके पिल रही है और हम ऑल गेमर से हार रहे हैं. हम XLG से हारे मास्टर्स में.
One round where BBL didn't have at least 3 players on the site that was being hit, which
Guys, you know we are the team जो इस साल 2 चाइनीज टीम से हारे हैं. Like 2 Chinese teams beating us.
Kill or one attempted kill from Chichu in an eco round.
there was a B side. Remember they used the nade.
अब तो पैसिफिक से भी उम्मीद नहीं है. स्टेज 2 से भी मेरे को कोई उम्मीद नहीं है कि जी कुछ करेगी.
But I think that was also a fallback from that.
पर ठीक है.
If I'm not mistaken, but it definitely did feel like for EDG,
We are witnessing a history creating over here. Like
moving some of that information was the way to
history
go.
creation देख रहे हैं
They
अपन.
decided to play more direct, which also makes sense. They've got information. They're rotating ahead of us. Let's
BBL history बना रही है. History.
And yet they couldn't. And that's so impressive. But it also
खत्म करो पिस्टल चालू करो. पिस्टल खत्म करो. एक 13-0 देखते हैं.
Why were there 4 players or 3 towards the C site with 1 outside B ready?
4:30 बजे गेम चालू हुआ था. 5 बजे गेम खत्म.
Ran up A. He saw no utility, no nades, nothing. And after a couple seconds, he said, okay, I'm going into your spawn. And he's there on the neon in a matter of seconds. They have the information. And when they go the other way, the Cypher utility gets the info instead. Kraven fills in B, 4 players on the A side. This has been a tough play for EDG.
Well, and it's safe to say this tournament is starting to feel a little bit cursed for them in general. Last year,
वो खराब खेलते हैं वो इसलिए हमदर्दी नहीं है. वो खराब खेलते हैं इसलिए हमदर्दी नहीं है. तुम्हारे हैं इस बात की हमदर्दी है. हमारे हैं. हाँ.
this year
पांडास.
coming in with a stand-in and facing
By the way guys, वो रहा मेरा पांडा.
to be back in form at least on an individual.
तुम लोगों को दिख रहा होगा कि नहीं पता नहीं.
Go missing.
बट गेम के बाद मैं दिखाता हूँ.
Stage 1, a team with high expectations after a flawless run, a kickoff regionally. And then EDG off the back of a very good finish at Masters London, unfortunately are not able to show
ये खाली छोड़ा है.
what
किस
was come
खुशी
to
में
expect
भैया?
of them. Sure, the excuses are there.
क्या
but
सोच रही है सर?
this
ट्रॉफी
is a
हो रही है.
completely different look for a team that has some incredibly good players.
EDG come in here, 4 pistols. It's a confident buy. And, well, listen, if they're going to make 12 rounds in a row, they got to start it that way. For individuals to show up, that's all I want to see, because the comeback, although Gentlemates might let this one slip, I'm not sure about BBL. And they don't have that kind of history to swing out on the back from Con. He's being spotted. He's being blinded. He's being naded.
Dead.
He is dead. And EDG end up in a 4 versus 4 with the plant coming through from BBL, and they're looking to fight. Of course they are. Most teams would sit back.
3v3. एक सेकंड.
Trading blows though. Sends BBL flee.
Swarm with Spike.
Yeah, they're going to take this to the B, the C site, but that's if they can get past Jenny.
It seems like they know they've been boxed in. But Gianni definitely has a good idea, but they're not even going B. He's gone all the way around the other side of the map to the C site, but the defenders have also gone, well, okay, it's a little bit too quiet on this side.
बहुत ज़्यादा swap हो गया. राउंड swap हो गया एकदम ही.
Bit of a problem. Back to the spawn, Rose needs to go.
राउंड swap हो गया.
Is now being
They
watched.
didn't hear each other
They're
step.
ready for the move, but it's going to be the shot coming out on the other side.
13-0 denied guys. 13-0 denied. 1v3 थोड़ी निकलता है.
And Loiter, who hasn't had to do a whole lot this game, with a chance to clutch.
Oh, surely not. You think the pistol round could at least be the safe haven, the safe protocol for this squad, but Loida, he's brought it to one.
He's won.
A single point of health for EDG to
बचा लिया 13-0.
and they will do it. Chichu
He's laughing.
saves the round.
बचा लिया 13-0. पहले कॉर्पोरेट खेलता था. लाइक स्कूल से निकल के कुछ दोस्त थे कॉर्पोरेट सेगमेंट में, तो 1-2 टीम्स में मैंने कॉर्पोरेट में खेला है. ये ट्रॉफी तो बॉक्स क्रिकेट की है भाई. बहुत ट्राई किया यार, कुछ नहीं बोल सकते तुम. बहुत लॉयटा ने बहुत ट्राई किया. he TP'd, he went out, नहीं कनेक्ट हुआ वो लास्ट शॉट, कुछ नहीं कर सकते.
Mirror the scoreboard of the last with 12 rounds in a row. And hey, it starts with one.
That it does, and it usually ends with a much lower number than 14. They'll need to go there to OT.
क्या हगा रहा है भाई कांग
Shaky to start.
कांग
He's got him boxed in the corner.
कांग.
Okay, he'll deal with him eventually. Not before Lovers Rock is able to trade out. Now LaRock finds one on a Jenny, and now I start to get a little bit nervous about this. There's another weapon to be recovered. There's still a Marshall. Up close is nobody. It has been a tough game for nobody so far. And a flash through. Doesn't follow up on it. It's the players pushing B instead as he draws their eye. But now he's a little surrounded. I almost want to see him fall back with that paranoia.
कांग.
They paranoid now.
टीम गई कांग की.
Chichu gets one. Many players close. But is he happy with that?
2v2.
Has he done enough? It's a 2v2.
His teammates coming.
The wraparound is on the way. Nice work by
बचा लिया ये राउंड भी.
Clean it up in the end, but danger averted, but only barely.
बढ़िया है बढ़िया.
I'll be honest with you, like at least some of the plays that Cargon's making, I think he's just having fun with this.
Yeah.
I think they've looked at this and gone, yeah, 12 rounds in a row, probably not going to happen. I'm just going to go fight them in their spawn and see what will.
मैं प्रोफेशनली बास्केटबॉल खेलता था.
The possibility of it.
बहुत गंदा आ गया था. मैं प्रोफेशनली बास्केटबॉल ही खेलता था. बाकी सब तो चिल करने के लिए. जैक ऑफ ऑल और मास्टर ऑफ नन वाला गेम था.
This is a relatively strong one.
क्या नहीं खेला है मैंने.
The judge and an
क्रिकेट, टेबल टेनिस,
realistically all BBL
बैडमिंटन,
one.
बास्केटबॉल. बास्केटबॉल तो अच्छे खासे प्रोफेशनल लेवल पे खेला. फिर कोविड आ गया, लेफ्ट राइट सेंटर बहुत चीजें हुई. अनदर डे अनदर जनरेशनल कमबैक. एक जनरेशनल कमबैक तो कल देखा हमने 12-2 से Nongsim 1.
Sitting outside B, and that will be the one to be challenged. Perhaps not. No, they're going all the way around. It's a very slow early round. It's very uncharacteristic for BBL to not even look for a scrap at this point of the game. But I think they want to close this out while it's still in dominant fashion and stop EDG from building up that little bit of momentum towards the end of the game.
Shot and nobody.
I said it had been a tough game for him, but that's a bloody nice shot.
केडी आया था. ओके बढ़िया है यार. मैं इधर मुंबई रिलायंस वाले कैंप में गया था. आगाज किए जेनी भाई. नहीं हुआ. तुम जज लेके ऐसा बुम 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 क्या कर रहे हो.
Sign left blinded. He's trying to deny them, but instead he ends up being caught. Him staying alive with the wall might have even been enough to potentially change the round. Instead, Chichu's going to try and maybe even run in and deny the plant, but he's too late.
खत्म कर दिया. GG's.
Him through the smoke. It's down to Khan again to keep them alive, and he's got rid of the show.
कांकन का एम तो क्रिस्प है यार. कोई गेम में हगा हो जाता है, लेकिन क्रिस्प है. बंदे का एम क्रिस्प है. I would agree to that.
With Rose so desperately low, a chance to catch him through the wall. Just needs a singular bullet to connect, but Rose is now hiding behind the pillar, not wanting to give his opponent anything, just trying to work off the time. Doesn't even care about anything else. It's ring around to Rose. He's gone all the way around behind him. He's just trying to wrap back around and well.
नचाया है भाई. मतलब क्रेजी बोलते हैं ना अपन. गोल गोल रानी, ठंडा ठंडा पानी. पानी में गया एक मछली और छपैक. नचाया है पूरा कांग को रोज ने. नचाया है मतलब. नचाया है मतलब क्लीन नचाया है भाई. They tried so hard, but in the end, एक और somewhat pistol पे आ गए.
You give him a yeah. On the other team, do your best not to give him a chance, but that doesn't always work.
कांग बेचारा कह रहा कहाँ फंस गया.
You know, 25% of the way there. Doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah, listen, it's EDG finding the seam.
देखो मैं एक चीज बताऊं. तेरा शून्य नहीं देखा. क्या 2 12-0 12-0 के हाफ दिखेंगे.
9 in a row needed. Chichu down in a trade to start this out. Great work from nobody.
क्या 12-0 के 2 हाफ दिखेंगे.
2K for them each and 4 for EDG now. Relatively clean as well. Only one player lost. As I said, for me, like 8 more rounds in a row. Too big of a task. It's possible, but unfeasible. But all we need to see is them pick up that momentum to start to feel like they're not just leagues below this squad.
I think like warming up into their own map choice is going to be very important. I think we've already seen that throughout this tournament so far with some pretty devastating defeats and then managing to turn it around. I think even look at BBL in their last series versus 100 Thieves, dominated map 2, still lost map 3. Like as long as their opponents felt like they were in it. But it does seem like the beast from the east are now
ना भाई 2 बारी 12-0 नहीं होंगे. अगर EDG अगर 12 राउंड जीतती तो मिरेकल ही बोलूंगा. मिरेकल तो कल देखा हमने एक 12-2 की स्कोर लाइन से कम बैक. क्या बारिश हो रहा है भाई.
They need to take a attack pause to make sure that this one doesn't get out of control.
सानिस का लास्ट पीस है गाइस, खत्म कर लेते हैं.
Maybe even learning from
ठंडा तो हो
the
गया.
mates
इतनी
yesterday
बारिश में
that,
होना ही है.
okay, we want to get ahead of this because the more EDG warm up, yeah, sure, 8 rounds in a row is still incredibly difficult to do, even just considering ult cycles.
कल मिरेकल जस्ट टू लूज.
If there was a team with the caliber of player that could do it, it is EDG.
क्यों नॉन्गशिम का क्या हुआ? मैं देखा नहीं कल. 12-0 के बाद मैं चले गया. काम का संडे था ना, थोड़ा सा फैमिली टाइम. देखते हैं अपन लोग को इस गेम के बाद, देखते हैं कि कल उस गेम में क्या हुआ. वो तो बुरा लगा मेरे को, बट एक चीज अच्छी लगी. लास्ट मिनट पे जो नेमार का गोल था वो बहुत अच्छा लगा.
Showstopper put through. Jenny's caught his head on the door and he's a little slow and the follow-up paranoia lands. But Concon, it's not just one man pushing. No, this is a strategy from EDG. They're putting the pressure on from both sides.
ये क्या है भाई? गन आउट कहां कूदते जाते हैं.
Concon falls. And even with that great pick from Signed, it's a 3 versus 2. Spike on its way to C and, well,
hello.
Yeah, well, you get the info at least.
But this
no
is the
early
thing.
flank.
Because Signed was spotted on the other side of the map, that was the immediate call from Loiter that, okay, I can now TP into the back of that site, past all of his utility. It's a gap that was exploited. And now the remaining 2 players of EDG look to fight for survival once again in map number 1. In the decider matchup, one team goes through to the playoffs.
Trolling and throwing at the same time. Yep.
Will be eliminated. Signed maybe a little bit ahead of where BBL expected them to be. Good paranoia, but the trade
खत्म हो गया राउंड. GG.
Not
every time रे. 13-4 still respectable. 13-0 से तो respectable ही है. हाँ, कल नॉन्गशिम के साथ क्या हुआ वो देखना है. ENC तो नवंबर में है. दे लॉस्ट. फिर जेंटल में 2-1 जीता है. ओके भाई, लेकिन ये 17-15 13-3. आर यू सीरियस? This was something nasty. This was legit something nasty. गाइस 7 लोग देख रहे हो यार. जिन्होंने भी लाइक नहीं किया है लाइक कर दो, सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है, नए आए हो सब्सक्राइब कर दो. बिकॉज चैट में तो बहुत कम लोग ही दिखते हैं. अब 7-7 8-8 लोग हैं, पर चैट में 1-2 बंदे ही हैं, तो फिर खराब ही लगेगा. भूला था. नॉन्गशिम जीतू है ना कल. ठीक है. MIBR ऑल गेमर्स कल MIBR गए. साला कल MIBR का गेम देखेंगे या फिर कल नहीं, कल MIBR नहीं देखेंगे. कल अपन अपने लॉन्डो को देखेंगे यार. लेजिट फॉर रियल. कल थोड़ी MIBR देखेंगे. कल तो अपने लड़कों को देखेंगे ना. अपने लड़के जान लगा रहे हैं मेन इवेंट के अंदर LCQ के. अगर LCQ में जीतते हैं, कितने गेम जीत रहे हैं? 1 2 3 गेम. अब अगर LCQ में अगर 3 गेम जीत जाते हैं तो इसके प्लेन्स में चांस मिल जाएगा। एक ही टीम जाएगी, अपने को पूरा टूर्नामेंट जीतना जरूरी है। फुल टूर्नामेंट अपने को जीतना जरूरी है। अपने को कम से कम मतलब वही है कि 3 गेम जीतने हैं, 1 2 3। फैंसी यूनाइटेड में खेल कौन कौन रहा है, दैट इज द क्वेश्चन। अभी तक आइडिया नहीं है। ये 2 आदमी आज तक खेल रहे हैं। ये अभी भी खेल ही रहे। भाई ये कब रिटायर होगा? Man, the 1v4 of Lightning Fires to qualify for the event was so peak. They better win now. Yes, sir. पर ये आदमी रिटायर होगा कि नहीं? क्योंकि इस बंदे को मैं कब से देखते आ रहा हूं। सेम विद ट्वाइलाइट। ब्रो ट्वाइलाइट ट्वाइलाइट को देखो तुम, कब से खेल भाई। चलो ट्वाइलाइट तो अभी अभी चालू किया है, बट यस आई कैन। वो दूसरा ट्वाइलाइट था, 2 ट्वाइलाइट था मतलब। यस आई कैन को तो देखोगे तो तुम। भाई ये देखो, दिस गाय इज प्लेइंग सिंस 2020। 2020 से ये आदमी खेल रहा है। यार टफ होने वाला है। दिस इज गोइंग टू बी टफ। दिस इज गोइंग टू बी टफ। कोई बात नहीं, अपने लॉन्डो ने भी मेहनत की है। ऐसे ईएनसी क्वालिफाई नहीं हुए हैं। 1 2 3, ये 3 प्लेयर ईएनसी के प्लेयर थे अपने। मेन स्टेज खेलेंगे, मारेंगे कल। ये जिंग के 3 4 प्लेयर्स तो ऐसे थे। 3 1 प्लेयर्स ऐसे हैं जो ऑस्ट्रेलिया के लिए, हाँ 3 ही है, मिनिमाइज, वर्ल और कदीरी। इन तीनों ने ऑस्ट्रेलिया के लिए खेला है ईएनसी। ये देखो, बॉन्कर्स, ई किंग। बॉन्कर्स वो टीम है, इफ यू रिमेम्बर, जिसको अन्ना ने स्पॉन्सर किया था, इफ यू रिमेम्बर।
but not quite enough given the deficit they were put in early on. And we're going to see what they have cooking up here for map number 2, because it's going to be whatever they came with map number 1. You don't want to miss it. You're watching EWC 2026 Valorant.
People are expecting कि जीते ही जीते।
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
डार्ट को एक फोटो भेजना है। द ब्रेक इज गुड। पानी वानी ले आओ, मैं भी बॉटल ले आता हूँ। टिल द टाइम गेम चालू नहीं होता, पानी का बॉटल ले आते हैं। हाँ, लेट्स गेट द वाटर बॉटल आउट।
The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to EWC 2026 Valorant, as we had one of the fastest map number ones here in the tournament in our decider match. It was BBL taking down EDG on the Lotus, 12-0 first half. Couple rounds back to make the scoreline look competitive by EDG, and we finished 13-4, and we turn our focus now to our second map. Kakuka here alongside Big Time, and y'all, how do you recover from something like that if you're EDG?
I think, yeah.
How do I recover?
I
Please.
think the good
It was
news
so difficult.
is I think this always looks like it's going to be harder to recover from than it is. I think it's harder to recover from close OTs where you feel like, oh, we should have won. If only I'd done this. Those kind of things can get in your head a bit more. I think a 13-0 is definitely a little bit more like, oh, like, there's kind of nothing we could do there. They were firing, our game plan was wrong, whatever it is. It's sort of one big mistake instead of 1,000 tiny mistakes. So I think in theory, it's not super hard for them to just slide this one to one side and go, okay, we had the wrong idea here. But now we're moving to our map pick. Now we're moving to Breeze where we've looked good. So I think they'll be okay. I just think it's all about that short-term memory. Ultimately, you have to just put that out of your minds, not care what happened. And, you know, it wasn't quite the 13-0. So I do think that helps a little bit. There isn't the shame of a Mixwell tweet being fired your way and knowing that it was ultimately as bad as it can get. But I think they'll be fine. EDG are a composed enough team also. We know that they've been to big stages. We know that they've lost map ones before. So I have full faith that they will be okay heading into this map too.
We've had already some very devastating results here in EWC. Sometimes it means that the second map is only going to be a repetition. But in most of the occasions, I say that teams are able, as you're saying, to bounce back mentally from that. Sometimes players go on the map and they're just literally unstoppable. The question is now, is BBL able to replicate that on Breeze? As I was saying at the beginning of the year, to me, it was all about their Breeze. It's very similar to what we just saw here on Lotus. Of course, it doesn't have 3 sides, but the feeling is the same. It's incredibly abrasive. And if I am then, I would be playing literally what they were playing at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I want to find where the star of power is going to come from, not in terms of name, but in terms of performance to match LaRock, who has been an MVP candidate, despite not even making it to, we're not in playoffs yet, but the types of performances that he's been putting up have been insane.
Yeah, we have to have that conversation, especially when we, after these 2 days and after the daybreak that we have when we jump into playoffs, we need to start speaking about these real serious candidates. But LaRock was amazing. And even though on that Lotus where, you know, some of these clutchy rounds that we were speaking, like the Kraven, the Loita, even if his name wasn't there, when you look at the scoreboard and you're like, overall on the impact that he had throughout the game, yes, it was still there. It was still leading the charts. Yeah, sure. And it's just incredibly reliable that I don't think that this happens. Like, yes, you can have a good tournament and it will be like, you know, in most of the matches you will have a good performance, but in all of them?
Yeah.
In all of them? Seriously?
It does start to get a little bit crazy for LaRock with the numbers that he is putting up. I mean, it's hard for me to bet against them after map 1 like that, but I will say, cast your mind back to that split that they played in their previous series. It was a 13-3, even more dominant than this first map was on paper, and they still lost out that series. So want to see them have that composure, want to see them carry that momentum from map to map, because if they're able to heat up like they did there on Lotus, this Breeze will become enormously tricky for EDG.
Yeah, let's dive into Agent Select, as Breeze is EDG's map pick, and they're hoping it goes the same way that it did for BBL's own map pick, but they can get something going here.
Yeah, okay, so for EDG, this is more or less the same comp, but there is a little change here. When we saw EDG play against RRQ, Kang was on the Jet. He's now across onto the Neon. So I wonder, how do they feel like this is going to be able to stop BBL? Because I think Kang's Jet is fantastic.
I think it's more about creating the situations. We saw it from G2, we've seen it from other teams. You put on the KO plus the Neon, you already have the Viper, and you add on a Harbor. So you have so many walls to put up on your opponent's face, and of course the flashes to be comboing with that, and you have nobody on the Soba that also combos this perfectly. This is a perfect harmony of agents to be playing here in Breeze.
Yeah, no flashes on the side of BBL. We see this quite a bit on this map from time to time, but it's going to be hard to break through all those walls that you're talking about.
Yes.
That, it does feel like a very targeted change to put BBL on the back foot, especially when the EDG are coming in for the retakes with that Harbor. That's what I want to see. No fighting on the side, have some discipline, and take it to BBL at the right time.
Will BBL qualify yet another EMEA squad into the playoffs, or can EDG force that final map number 3? Let's find out as we send it back on over to Mitch and Tom.
Thank you, my darling Dagon. BBL versus EDG, map number 2. And after the first one, I don't know what to expect. BBL came in on a belter. I haven't seen Krevin with that strong of a start, and he continued it in quite a while. And for EDG, the bounce back is what they're looking for here. That last map was tough, but the second half, they were competing in. They woke back up, and I think BBL's setup was really the crux of it. This wasn't the BBL or a better team, but they had the better approach. Now it's on to EDG's map pick, and it started out with Jenny's instant death.
Yeah, he was trying to walk up outside of B, and they were just ready and watching for it. It seems like the defenders had a goal to get aggressive, and their goal is currently, well, it's looking like an own goal at this stage. They have already been shut down early, the remaining 2 players having to just try and piece the puzzle back together, but well, it's looking like there's a big hole in the middle at this point.
Tom, when was the last time you saw BBL in absolutely any round with 5 players alive, sitting in their spawn with a minute left on the clock? I can't think of when that was. I'm not sure it's ever happened before. They're on a level of locked in that you don't usually get to see. Because normally they want to come out and disrespect at least to start. But we saw it at the end of Lotus. As I said, at 12-2, there's an immediate sign that these guys, they're playing like they can still lose this game.
Well, Chichu's having a good time. He's got his little gloves on, and he's punching the body of Rose, so still giving it, that's for sure. But LaRock has shot him down immediately. Another pistol round under the belts of BBL to start off this first half. And I kind of want to talk about these 2 teams on this map in general, of course. I liked this map last time out versus RRQ for the side of EDG because I feel like the roles made a little bit more sense. You had that sort of more passive Harbor for Signed. They gave the KO to Gianni, moving him off of smokes and allowing him to be a little bit more proactive, more aggressive. And then on the other side of things, it does feel like this map is very hit and miss for BBL. Sometimes they look like they can utterly dominate a half, like versus Eternal Fire, where they just go 9-3 on the attack. And then the next time, sometimes players go missing and they can get bodied. So
I'm sorry, of course.
Right
we back, boys.
I feel like a lot of what they ended up doing in the last map was kind of back to basics, go to more of what
We back,
was possible
boys.
for them. And on this attack, almost moving as a bit
सब
of
कम
death
सब गुम हो गए,
for
गायब हो
just the
गए.
first couple of rounds. That could be a pretty
आ
terrifying
गए हम
thing
लोग.
for
इधर
EDG
BBL के
to
लग गए.
react to.
We didn't know about the future.
हाँ, BBL जीत गई, सही. EDG के लग गए चकले पूरे.
Their strengths were taken out of the game, were weakened at least a little bit, and we questioned, will we even see them at an international again? Certainly people out there did. BBL were aware of it.
Well, there were lots of rumors of even player changes because it was like, okay, can Lovers Rock recover to the point where if he's not playing Yara, he can actually play to a decent level? And I'll be honest, I think a lot of those were very, very harsh to saying that we're not going to give him any time to overcorrect.
Chichu hoga.
Well, there you go.
Chichu, Chichi.
That is a strong round for BBL, and again, what
Likes
has
Marish,
alarm bells ringing? You
subscribe
might know how
Marish.
slow they were on that take. They waited for
New
the drone,
people,
they pushed
like,
the drone,
subscribe.
spamming the angles they hadn't cleared. They waited for the
कौन है
reveal,
भाई?
deeper,
BBL
even with the advantages. And BBL
कोई तो है, BBL सपोर्टर भी है. सबने EDG लिखा था, EDG वाले गए.
that will come in and make mistakes because they usually don't get punished.
Beat away, guys.
Fight back right here. BBL are playing tight in the first two, but that was just pistols for EDG.
भाई आज 1 घंटे में तो दूसरा गेम चालू हो गया है. रोज 1 घंटे में
Yeah, but
पहला गेम खत्म होता है.
Incredibly strong for BBL. They have come in with rifles on every single player. The weakest weapon, well, it's arguable, is either the Outlaw, which, okay, will only be one shot to one player, but normally you might see an SMG or two. So they have got their credits in a very good spot. And for EDG, if the last map is anything to go by, it does feel imperative that they get on this board early. Start.
What do you think?
Pressure on to the Turkish Titans. Well, already, nobody is going to spot things out. Doesn't have a lot of immediate support, so he's going to have to do a lot of this on his own, but he has already picking off LaRock, but the trade is immediate onto his teammates. Still, he has backline, but only for a second.
Perfect. Perfect, BBL. Perfect.
Double down on the advantages, weapons recovered, and from a strong bonus round to an unbreakable one with Jenny. Your last man standing, one under his belt, a solid start, good flash out of the smoke. Spam.
भाई stop. ये BBL खा जाएगी रे इनको. And they'll leave no crumbs out.
That round now gets me even more worried. BBL looked like they're having a lot of fun.
He wasn't happy with the quality of that fist bump. That's the biggest problem that BBL is having right now. Like, sorry, bro, you didn't fist bump me well enough at the end of the round. That was a bonus round. And again, definitely not a good sign. They seem like they are going back to, as said, a lot more basics. You're always going to have problems, I think, especially on the defensive side. When you're
पगला हो गए रे.
because you have to.
These guys have gone mad.
Sort of synergy you normally have, while not having the same sort of synergy that you normally have. So if an opponent could just fast-paced take into sites, which BBL are excellent at, it becomes incredibly difficult for EDG to react in the same sort of way. 3-0. A similar start to what we saw in the previous map. Of course, it was a 12-0 defensive side half for BBL, which they eventually closed out 13-4. This round, not a whole lot invested. A Bucky, SMG, few pistols, but expectations low.
हाँ क्रॉस कर गया था वन में.
The chance for the pistols to thrive normally in those choke points now will have to be towards the site. The wall at least allows them close with a flash through.
Hell, nah, the flash was good.
But the push is coming in on the other side of the map.
बचा लिया. 10 बनाम 3 का ये सिनेरियो has been a very good thing.
They're not happy though. No, this isn't the passive team that we've seen in those first three. It's aggression now out of LaRock. I think he's 5-0 at the moment, possibly even more.
They check.
And it was Lloyd, sorry.
चेक ही नहीं किया. चेक ही नहीं किया और लैरॉक मार मार के भूत बना रहा है. तीसरा भी राइट क्लिक करके मार गया.
And BBL continue to streak rounds together in the early stages of this map.
Yeah, I will say, normally when they have a worse map of Breeze, it's because LaRock's not hitting. Like, him on the Jet has been the sort of, like, win factor. It's like, is he going to be the best player in the server, or are we going to lose? Like, that's kind of how this map has gone. There was once, I think, where Rose, like, clutched every round for, like, an entire map, but that... I'm not expecting that to happen again. And the fact that we currently have Loiter, Lovers Rock, and LaRock all on 5 kills, 2 deaths between the 3 of them. Now I want to see a response. Now I want to see something from EDG to make me believe this is going to be a close series in the early fight. It's shaking.
BBL! Crossfire thoda!
Both signed and Jenny gone. The lurk from Creven almost feels like an afterthought.
भाई LaRock तो चप्पल बजा रहा है.
2v5. A Hunter's Fury available for the post plant for Rose, and he is back in main, holding the flank. Speaking of which, look where Creven is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He is a defender and slowly boxing them in. There is nothing for EDG to do to win this round, short of spin botting, I think. And with Chichu left alone, the save has to be the call.
चप्पल बजा रहे भाई. LaRock भाई तो चप्पल ही बजा रहे.
Back towards the spawn, players on doors. Chichu's going to have to fight to keep this rifle. And he's got a battle brewing on absolutely every side. Good work to find, too. Every kill here is an orb towards a Viper's Pit, and that will help massively in locking down these choke points. Even if he does go down here, considering they're not going to be in the best spot financially next round anyways, it wouldn't be the end of the
Next
round.
round anyways, are you serious?
Show no signs of stopping.
No.
This is the other concerning thing is on the way into those sites now. That's a number of times signed has been completely caught off guard, and I expect a pause out of EDG now. They need to restructure this because the pace, and it's not even that strange of a pace. Look, a crossfire where one player has his wall out. I mean,
the problem though is
it's a
that
disaster.
you say that, but they've done the same thing on both sides of the map, and it doesn't matter who's been there. They've done the same thing.
There was nobody getting
Like,
caught by the dash in as well. Yeah.
This is what I mean. I think BBL have figured out the code of how to beat a team in the stand-in, which is just group up as 5 or 4 in this case, and just hit them. Just hit them at pace, because you can't react. Like, you basically have to be trading evenly with the stand-in. And if not, like you saw with nobody on the other side, he's gambling and they're putting players elsewhere to try and figure out a fix, and then if he dies, you've lost the site. That's the problem. It's very, very difficult to have, especially on the defense, that same synergy you normally would, the same reactions you normally would. And as of right now, BBL are just going 4-1 or 5-0. Let's just go into one site, hit it as hard as we can, and until they stop us doing this, let's just keep doing it. And wow, look at the current scoreline. They haven't been able to stop them doing it. So that's why the pause has been called. That's why a timeout has been taken, because this is now panic stations for EDG. If it keeps going in this form for BBL, they'll be the 4th EMEA team out of 5 to make it to playoffs. And EDG will be out.
Beating a team a second time, often the hardest, but for BBL, it seems like they've stepped up in every facet. EDG, as you said, called that timeout.
Okay.
5-0 down, and they've been put under so much pressure early on in this defense.
कोई नहीं क्या? कहाँ पे?
They've also changed their approach. This isn't going to be the push and pull. This isn't going to be the more direct plays. Instead, they're now going for a split. Mid is the space that's been left vastly open, looking to punish our EDG when BBL fight early for bottom mid. Instead, they bypass it, go tunnel, and now put the pressure on both sides. Chichu going to be caught with his back turn. He was worried about main, but not aware of the flank possibility. At least they know there's a kill on Opera up close, but Concon's punished immediately. And
कर क्या रहा है लारोक?
shaky for Larocque.
Ding 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 ding.
As he finds that extra kill. And I don't think Jenny's going to be pulled back into this round. No chance to res him on backside. Nobody's all alone. As if it's not bad enough to face against
He
4.
popped the blade.
Larocque with a blade storm should make that even more terrifying.
He popped the blades at a 4v1.
Yeah, it's a bit strange.
I guess at this point, kind of do whatever you want. Go for the style points.
It's not like credits are going to be a problem anytime soon.
No, they're getting very close to max on almost every single player. And well, there you go. The
Boom, boom,
additional
boom.
kill will
चाकू
go
मार
his
दिए.
way. That's 6-0. Another flying start for BBL. Of course, we've seen the pause a tiny bit earlier this time around, but looking very comfortable.
Nah, bro. Hell nah.
We should be seeing a heavier investment into this one. I'm hoping we maybe get to see the operator out from Kankan.
They definitely need something to be the difference maker.
The generational games are going on right now.
EDG. Concon himself under pressure. Good job he doesn't have the opposite. There's a lot of targets coming his way. Dodges the paranoia. Dodges the Hunter's Fury. But can't dodge the shots from Lover's Rock. And now it's Signed, who's being put under pressure every time. He's been caught off guard. He's been on the back foot. And indeed, he will backpedal.
Lovers Rock 70 HP है.
Look at the position of Kreven. He has taken all of the B site. EDG massively rotating, and they're still caught off guard. Larocque walked up on nobody in his drone, and nobody.
पागल हो गया लारोक. He is gone. Okay, signed came back.
Put to bed a second time. 13-2, and the reward you get is a 3v2 retake on the other side of the map.
Yeah, this is.
That is madness. That is utter madness. A 7-0 start once again.
Time that's already gone. The opportunity for it is basically null and void. I love this from BBL. You have been doing the same thing again and again from 6 rounds.
Bro, Larocque is doing massive things for the team.
The other way. And after they get the opening pick, Kreven just goes, guys, there's nobody here. And I don't mean the player. They made it so easy.
Larocque is doing hell of a job for the team.
Even having the TP out from Loiter, so you can just take the spike directly to the site, and then they leave another lurk in the form of your most aggressive player. Well, actually, him and Lovers Rock.
डबल लर्क हो गया वो एक तरीके से,
One of your most aggressive players.
क्योंकि क्रेवन ने साइड ले ली, वहां अल्टी मार के ओमन स्पाइक लेके पहुंच गया. पहले क्रेवन लर्क कर रहा था, वहीं पे अब लैरॉक का लर्क बन गया.
That's insane. The fact that he's able to walk through like that. Keep in mind, he's not even on his own. Lovers Rock was there with him to give him that extra layer. It's why he can push sight, not worry about that wraparound. But that's got to be a good blow for EDG. Nobody caught with 3 teammates around him in his drone. And still they're sold to fake all the while. Lovers Rock down to 30, down to 0, right off rip. Good damage from Concon. The dash back though might make them think everybody's left. Now they know the spike is there. Kreven is being chased, but he's making it away, at least for now. Concon won't let him go much further, but now there's backup and a snake bite slows him. EDG though.
बहुत लो हो गया था,
they're ahead of
34
the play,
HP
but they're
क्रेवन.
all here again. They've given up all the space, and BBL have shown that they are willing to fill it in when it's wide open.
They found that A site almost for free. Rose is
Not
very
again.
aggressive. He's going
Not
to try and get
again.
past the
Bro, Rose!
while stuck in it. It's been a nightmare for nobody. And Rose can look to try and hold on to this control. Good work, though, from the remaining players of EDG. A quick kill to clear.
A 3v3 at this point.
The one healthy man, Laroc's lurk, has been spotted, and he's now down to just 13 health.
He's walked back into the space. The knife just cleared that. You have to be suspicious, but Jenny also has to move to the side. He's going to go and help his teammates. Kreven's now taken one down, but okay, it's left onto this man, and he's low with a knife.
Knife nahi, 7-1.
Finally, a round is on the board for EDG.
Knife nahi. No knives, man, please.
Yeah, it's safe to say that it's a mountain that needs to be climbed, but it's one of those ones where you look back to the first half of the last map of being a 12-0 and you go, okay, at least this time they're on the board a little bit early on. I think we're seeing some of what we expect to get from Khan, him and Signed, bringing them a path back into the game after the aggressive positioning. But that has been the problem. There have been massive gaps throughout this defensive half. And of course, it's no surprise that there is plenty in terms of the credits. Lovers Rock buying into the operator on the attack. An investment that may just look to try and deny any of that defensive aggression, which is going to be coming.
Spike drop.
You reckon they check Chichu?
I don't think they do. It really depends on Jenny. And he's backed off the angle now. They start to think that
I would say finally they got
have to
around.
cover off mid as the rotate comes in from nobody to go towards the A site, all thanks to the
check in.
Viper wall. And now that means Chichu doesn't have backup. He doesn't have support. Even a flash can't make it through. He'll find one.
Oh, but
Sprays
only.
a full mag spray somehow. I mean, good work from Chichu. It looked like he should have gotten nothing.
Rock also tagged low, so an advantage once again. Rose, though, instead has managed to kill off Khan. The trades, again, though, are immediate. Lovers
The trades are perfect.
And that gives them a path back towards the A site. In fact, they've left a player there once again. Lovers Rock will be able to get that planted position, but there is LaRock catching Gianni. It leaves.
Bro, the way LaRock plays, yaar. मेरा हो गया LaRock को देख के.
To stop this being a one and done, to stop this being an 8-1 scoreline. And both remaining attack players are sat passively. They're checking for the flank. Of course, with LaRock low, you kind of expect him to be the first to peek, but they are sitting passively enough that they just wait for this player to get a move. Stun out already, and the second player still hasn't given the game away just yet. It's
अरे बाप रे, अरे रे, the stun after that, the पर भाई साहब क्या पीक था वो एकदम poing.
Really tough situation now for EDG.
How they won the first round? मैं तो ये सोच रहा हूँ.
2v3 Sign was completely caught off guard. And great start from Chichu, and the fact that they recovered it like that, but my guy's rotating through mid with his knife out. He's completely lost in the sauce. It's not like they had any reason to believe they couldn't be elbow. In fact, they had reason to believe they should be elbow. A small mistake, a big mistake to be honest, and a very big cost paid for it. This was EDG's chance to fight back in. My heart goes out to him as a stand-in, but he's looked uncomfortable so far. Things have to change. 1 round on the board. BBL could be right back to winning ways. And the outlaw buy here for Lover's Rock. Look how confident he is. He knows the buy that they're on. You can see
Of course. It went.
double barrel operator now.
You went around with not many surviving. Okay.
Good job.
Unchecked, there's nobody. They're even once again. Khan's going to try and be a little bit cheeky around the edge of that harbor utility. However, BBL are just patient. They're waiting it out. I know that the utility is probably the bigger risk in this one. Signed again. A 1-for-1 trade, and there's Khan to react.
भाई साहब 2 बनाम 2 एक 1v2 हो गया ये तो.
So this time claimed by EDG. It's up to Loiter. Now the other defender is very far away. In fact, though, as he just about rotates in, that's where Loiter makes his move. Already on 3 kills in this round, looking for the ace. But Chichu might be a little bit further ahead than what he's expecting. Never mind, he's going to go forward. Is he looking to go all the way around?
I think he's just cutting the rotation through mid. Like, that's not a position you're going to expect someone to be sat in this situation. It's usually like you've got players on site distracting, but instead he's tucked in. Luckily, Jenny is clearing it. The mistake there could have been costly.
Nice try.
Especially early on, considering that
ये राउंड नहीं जाना चाहिए था 14 and 4.
Jenny falls early, all
This should not have been threw away. Like,
and I think a lot of that comes down to Chichu. He was in the right place at the right time. He heard that TP be taken, so you know he's either spawn or making a play like that. Good rotation from EDG. Good cautionary rotation from Chichu. He stayed towards that site for so long, knowing that TP was online.
Yeah, to be honest, everybody finding their one, but then it's this kill. It's Jenny making sure that you don't end up losing that fight and then being very cautious on the rotation. It's a second round, but 8 is already pretty good on that attack side for BBL. And there's no guarantee that they're stopping at 8. Of course, buying back up once again, but this time the Viper's Pit is going to delay and deny
भाई जुकाम सा हो गया रे.
which instead gets them a hunter's
इमा sorry.
have a Viper's Pit for a potential post.
Excuse me भाई लोग.
With that null command, if you can deny a lot of that utility, you could make things a little bit tougher.
Perhaps that will have to be for the retake. Pit and 3 players towards the A side. And a Hunter's Fury fired in by the attackers, trying to hunt down that kill attack, but it's Concom with a double. And the escape back.
Triple!
He's back for more. 3 versus 2. Advantage claimed by Concon, and the round could be closed by nobody. This position is nigh on perfect, and the fact that he didn't help with the mid-fight makes you think that there's no way he'd be here. Striking at just the right time. And now Kreven is impressive as he's been.
Ulti तो मारेगा.
The big clutch. I mean, he can cross with the orb. He can put the pit down. And then this becomes a difficult enough round.
Depends if he wants to use it. Maybe one more kill and he might, but he's not going to.
Nice try, Ray.
Nobody makes sure of it. A big round.
Complete
disruption of the attempted play by BBL. And again, seeing some of that individual flair we know he has in droves. 8-3 from what was a 7-1 scoreline. A pretty decent resurgence toward the end of the half. Of course, it's still going to be a mountain to climb in the second, but an 8-4 certainly looks better than where they would be at if not for some of these plays.
Well, yeah, every little is going to help. It's a damn sight better than it was last map. And I do think that for EDG, and you said this in the last map as well, it proved to be true here more so, that on the defense, you just struggle so much when you have a stand-in. Gaps the rotations, everything suffers. For EDG, getting out 8-4 certainly makes it a lot more likely they're going to be able to trade blows in that next half and bring us all the way to sunset. For now, 5-man push towards this B site. Standing in their way. Chichu, who's been solid so far. And Jenny, a lot of utility as well that can come their way. The thing for BBL is that they're playing this so uncharacteristically slow. And I thought they were going to go for that mid-split, but it looks like the plan is just to test them in a straight-up fight.
Oh, Snakebite is going to leave some of them a little bit vulnerable. First player through though. Nobody's done well to disrupt. Trade back, nicely done by
अब ये गेम देखने लायक हो गया है. Now I will focus on the game. Because 4-8 is a good half actually.
But they've at least got themselves a minimum amount of rounds. And that early blitzing has turned into an 8-4.
That's all they needed to do. The course correct.
ये देखो गाइस, उन्नीस टीम है. कॉन्ग क्रू ओजी यहाँ प्रैक्टिस कर रही है. ओजी is practicing over here. भाई ये लोग का कितना प्यारा लगता है रे ग्लोबल वर्जन में. और ग्लोबल वर्जन थोड़ा सा अलग भी है. यहाँ से ये क्या है, ये इधर से इधर, इधर से इधर, कुछ तो नया है. इनका नया जोन मेटा शायद अलग है. बहुत कुछ डिफरेंस है भाई साहब.
The match, but even at 8-4, even with those 4 of the last 5 or 6 rounds going their way.
चलो गेम चालू होगा तब देखेंगे, तब तक ये देखते हैं. रोज़ॉक तो 3 टीम आ रही है भाई. और गन के नाम पे क्या मिला है, क्रॉसबो. वाओ भाई क्या खेलते हैं लोग. क्या है ये. ओनली का थर्ड पार्टी भाई, क्या चल रहा है. अच्छा लास्ट बंदा था, सॉरी. एक्सजी हील व्हील कर लेगी. hashtag esports. Back to the game.
Better safe than sorry.
I think Larocco was saying, can I?
Instead, this is Wiley's half turned. It's like there was never any way that Chichu could react to that.
And of all the times to get unlucky, 8-4 down in a pistol round, because that's what that is. The rest is not unlucky, but the first one most certainly was. EDG,
okay.
Shaky from Lovers Rock, okay, an opportunity. Sign is the one to claim that scalp, and he goes pushing further, up close to the wall. Spam's now going to come his way, and he will be taken down as a result. They still have that outlaw, though. dangerous for so many of these players, and in the hands of Concon, it's damn right deadly.
Yeah, Loiter's the only one who can survive a shot. Fortunately, Creven will land his first. Nobody's managed to pick it up, but now it's gone out of the round, and everything else is literally just down to Chichu. Very well dealt with by BBL. A conversion round that sees them take 4 rifles into the next round. They're making sure that this bonus is going to be a deadly one.
Double digits for BBL so early on. This is really surprised me here today. And I'd like to look at it as the level of BBL has increased. I think they prepared extremely well for this game. Looking at the first map in particular, like that was...
The Cypher change worked wonders.
Genuinely, you'll never see a counter work that well. Like, at least 99% of the time, it's not as obvious that that was the counter and that was what changed it. But here, there was no way to argue it. But then coming into this map, I believed it would be a different story because it's not like we have that scenario to play out again. Yet EDG struggle. Now with the rifles in hand, this has to be where things take a turn for the better. And a turn for the worse for BBL. Otherwise, big trouble on the horizon. Paranoia. I don't think it caught Concon. It doesn't matter. LaRock's there, ready to defend his buddy. And now tucked in the corner. He'll strike from and alongside Rose.
आगाज किया रोज ने.
In the end, signed and Chichu surrounded, outnumbered. Is that late play from Chichu?
क्या गेम बनाते हैं रे लोग, क्या गेम खेलते हैं भाई.
4 opponents to take down and no control of the spike.
Any positives?
Still got his orb. Walls in the right place. There's 2 for you.
He's alive.
Got a rifle. There's 3. It's a lot of good things going. And probably the biggest upside to having a rifle is that he can save it for the next round. Because if you throw yourself at this one at 10-4 down, we might as well just call it GG right there and then. You're not playing for the future rounds. You're playing to lose here and now. It's not that bad if he plays exits. Because again, look at the economy. It's not like this rifle could save the day. And maybe managing BBL a little bit if he gets all 4 kills, for example. Orbs towards his ult. And it will have an effect down the line on the comeback that EDG already need.
Guys,
But I don't want to see him run.
somebody expected क्या कि 6 बजे तक गेम्स खत्म हो जाएंगे, 4:30 बजे चालू हुए हुए.
The plan is most certainly to try and save the gun, of course, for BBL. This is a wonderful opportunity just to try and upgrade everything as they go. Go from what was good rifles to the best we have to offer. Every single one of them with that upgrade. And, well, they are going to go walking towards Chichu. I don't know if he ended up surviving that round. I hope for his sake he did.
A lot of y'all are wondering, what are we going to do if he saves the rifle? I guess we'll never know. I think for EDG, at this point, rifle or not, the problems come down to something far greater than that. BBL are on form. And thank you very much to our producer. He did not survive the round, so the rifle will be removed in the end by that swing out from Rose. For BBL, 2 rounds is all they need to close this out. A 2-0 lights out series up against EDG. The comeback for the attackers, well, certainly running out of runway. A lot faster than a Furious movie. With the smoke down, a reveal behind it. Maybe a chance if that can catch a few players, but it's not.
भाई 1-2 रोज भी लाइक मैं मारता रहूंगा.
And LaRock follows through with the same. Again, Chichu's at the double doors late to the party. And it's all
Late नहीं, latest to the party.
Don't think I've ever seen someone defend the site the way Rose just did. He ran out into the open like that. That was genuinely like running into no man's land with a grenade. Just like, I'm going down, but someone's coming with me. I'm surprised he got away with as much, but it is literally just the surprise factor. Okay, at this point, let's just take risks. I've got 4 young superstars behind me that if I get nothing, it doesn't even matter that much. And it's safe to say they weren't looking anywhere else. 12-4.
I think our analyst desks had a heart attack. I can see Morgan sprinting over here to the desk. They didn't think this would be over this quickly. And I don't blame him.
No.
Especially not on this map. And if it was, I thought it'd be EDG dominantly winning. A great start for Chichu.
जल्दी आ गया इस बार.
They've taken out Loiter as well.
इस बार
Also blocked them from spotting the push-up. Kankan maybe further forward than expected, and definitely so.
मेरे को लगा मैप खत्म, मेरे को एक्चुअली लगा मैप खत्म.
Might even be worth just taking through into the next round. They do have plenty of credits to play with, but that doesn't mean you want to just hand it over to the other side. LaRock, however, may still feel like he can go for something here. They're looking to try and hunt down Lover's Rock. He's creating a little bit for himself, but LaRock has gone on the other side instead. And now it's just if he could hold the
सब मर गए.
great work from EDG.
वांटी
Into an A hit, into an A hit, into
those
वांटी. It has been NT. कॉन्ग वालों ने 2 मारे. Everything is going on together. रोजाक थे ना, ये रहे. फाइट है.
saw the organization do the same thing last year, but for this squad coming into what was clearly a tough group.
ये तो पता ही था गाइस, खत्म ही होने वाला है. अच्छा बच्चों, ऑल्सो व्लॉग. अपने दोस्त का एक व्लॉग आने वाला था, आया क्या? वो भी इवेंट गया था ना. आर्यन मिश्रा. He also vlogs good, huh? 300 व्यूज, बढ़िया है. He actually did good. संडे भाई ये रेगुलर है. हाँ, एक बात है, ये बहुत रेगुलर बंदा है. इसकी अभी दीदी की शादी भी हुई, उसमें भी इसने ब्लॉग्स डाले ही हैं. मेरी सीनियर है इसकी बहन. ये देखो तुम्हारा भाई भी है. कुछ कुछ व्लॉग्स में हमने भी थोड़ा बहुत दिया है भाई इसको कंटेंट, बट बंदा बहुत क्रेजी काम करता है. कॉन्ग को क्या हुआ? कॉन्ग इज स्टिल अलाइव. 16th पे है हम. ये देखते हैं तब तक.
करते हुए दिखाई दे. रिवाइवल देने के साथ साथ अफर्ट में इंडल्जमेंट एक बार फिर से इख्तियार की जा सकती है.
आरू ने नॉक किया था. आरू ने स्पॉट भी कर लिया है. गाइस गाइस गाइस, टिल द टाइम, मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ, टिल द टाइम दूसरा गेम चालू होता है, अपन इंडियन स्क्रिम्स ही देख लेते हैं ना.
वो काफी हद तक के लिए ओपन में गए, लेकिन एटम के साइड से अब जाकर आरू को नॉकआउट कर दिया जाएगा. टीम स्टार्म स्पोर्ट्स के प्लेयर्स अब यहाँ पर स्लैमिंग करते हुए दिखा देंगे. टीम फैंटम गेमिट के प्लेयर्स उनके साइड से भी कुछ हद तक के लिए यहाँ पर रहते हुए थर्ड पार्टी का आगाज करने की कोशिश की जा सकती, लेकिन रुंगी नड़ा उनको इतना यहाँ पर रहते हुए डैमेज.
सो दिस इज आल्सो हैपनिंग. अपनी टीम ट्राई की,
उनके साइड से
अपनी टीम प्रैक्टिस करने गई है और प्रैक्टिस अच्छी चल रही है।
एक बार फिर से हासिल हो जाएगी, लेकिन वहीं पर आरू उनको एक बार फिर से रीसेट किया जाता है टीम वार्प ट्रैप के साइड से भी, जहां पर थर्ड पार्टी क्रॉसर्स सेट किए जाती हैं।
आरू 2 फ्रैग पे भाई, आरू मार रहा है मतलब।
के लिए इस वक्त यहाँ पर पॉसिबल हो पाएगा, लेकिन नहीं वहीं पर आई बिलीव गैलेक्सी वो दूर दराज एक बार फिर से एक करके प्लेयर्स को डैमेज करना चाहते हैं, लेकिन टीम स्टॉर्म स्पोर्ट्स उनको अपने प्लेयर्स को लूज नहीं करना, उनको अपने प्लेयर्स को यहाँ पर रहते हुए रीसेट जरूर से करना है। बट टीम वार्प ट्रैप ये अपने 2 प्लेयर्स को रहते हुए यहाँ पर लूज करते हुए दिखाई दे पाए, जहाँ पर इग्नाइटर और डाई दोनों के दोनों प्लेयर्स इस मैच से अपने टीम का अपने प्लेयर्स का इस मैच में साथ छोड़कर जाते हुए दिखाई दे पाते हैं। टीम कॉन्क्रियो उनके साइड से अपने प्लेयर्स को रिवाइवल दे दिया जाएगा, वहीं पर टीम स्टॉर्म स्पोर्ट्स की अगर आप बात करें उनके साइड से भी अपने प्लेयर्स को
गाइस जब तक मैं यही बोल रहा हूँ, जब तक गेम चालू नहीं होता, वी आर वाचिंग दिस। Yeah, we won a actually we won a fight, huh?
टीम कॉन्क्रियो फाइट विन करने में कामयाब रह पाती है। 2 प्लेयर्स जो कि नॉकआउट हुए उनको वंस अगेन एक ओपी की साइड से बचा लिया जाएगा। आतंकी वेस्ट गॉड दोनों के दोनों प्लेयर्स वंस
बढ़िया फाइट निकाले अपने बंदे।
दे सकते हैं टीम कॉन्क्रियो के पास 5वां किल पॉइंट इस फाइट में बगैर किसी नुकसान किया जाता है। क्या शानदार यहाँ पर टीम कॉन्क्रियो की साइड से इस फाइट को डोमिनेट किया जाएगा बगैर किसी नुकसान के।
बट 1300 मीटर जोन जाना है।
मैं यहाँ पर दाद देना चाहूंगा जिस कदर खूबसूरती के साथ टीम कॉन्क्रियो इनकी जानिब से आप कह सकते हैं कि
जोन कहाँ पहुंच गया है।
ना सिर्फ अपने लिए फाइट्स को विन किया गया, बल्कि अपने प्लेयर्स को भी इनकी साइड से बचा लिया जाता है। लेकिन आप सर्कल को देखिए, सर्कल का
बढ़िया
आ चुका है, लेकिन फैंटम गैम्बिट के आखिरी प्लेयर रंगीन नाड़ा भी इस मैच से बाहर कर दिए जाती हैं। टीम कॉन्क्रू की साइड से 6वां किल पॉइंट अपने पास दर्ज किया जाता है। अब इनको खुद को सर्कल में लेकर जाना होगा, लेकिन टीम वार्प ट्रैप के प्लेयर
उधर देखो, अल्फा गैलेक्सी थर्ड पार्टी हो गए ये लोग।
दोनों के दोनों प्लेयर्स गैलेक्सी के साइड से इस मैच से बाहर कर दिए गए। टीम
2 बंदे बचे थे।
दिक्कतें यहाँ पर पैदा होती हुई दिखाई देंगी टीम वार्प ट्रैप।
ब्रो दीस थिंग्स आर देयर टू एड्रेस मैन।
कॉन्क्रू के लिए मुश्किलात टीम वार्प ट्रैप के गैलेक्सी के साइड से बनाई जाएंगी।
ब्रो द फाइट्स आर गुड एक्चुअली। यहाँ पे तुमको देखना पड़ेगा, बहुत टीमें बहुत अच्छे से फाइट्स ले रही है ग्लोबल लॉबीज में।
ऑलराइट, टीम वार्प ट्रैप उनके दोनों के दोनों प्लेयर्स अब यहाँ पर रहते हुए रोटेट आउट करते हुए दिखाई दे पा रहे हैं। उनके साइड से खुद को सर्कल में लेकर जाने की कोशिश की जाएगी। टीम कॉन्क्रू के भी दोनों के दोनों प्लेयर्स अपने स्पॉट को अब तक के लिए होल्ड करते हुए दिखाई दिए, जहाँ पर बिस्गॉड आरू उनके साइड से आप कह सकते हैं कि कोई गलती ना करने की कोशिश की जाएगी, जहाँ पर 6 किल पॉइंट के साथ साथ दोनों प्लेयर्स को खुद को सर्कल में भी लेकर जाना होगा। इस हिसाब में टीम मैक्सवेल्स की अगर बात करें उनके पास भी 6 किल पॉइंट्स हैं। चारों प्लेयर्स के एडवांटेज देखने को मिल पाता है। M7 वो कुछ मजीद भी नॉकआउट निकालना चाहते हैं। टॉक्सिक को अगर आप देखें उनकी साइड से भी काइंड ऑफ अभी के लिए काफ़ी डैमेज डील करने के साथ साथ टीम अकत्सुकी उनके प्लेयर्स फॉल बैक करते हुए दिखाई दे पाते हैं। टीम अकत्सुकी उनको मेक श्योर करना है कि उनके लिए अपने प्लेयर्स को रीसेट करने के साथ साथ कुछ आसानियां पैदा होते हुए दिखाई दे, लेकिन मैक्सवेल्स के इन्वेडर वो खुद को आगे लेकर
कास्टिंग में उतना मजा नहीं है रे।
निकालने की मजीद एक बार फिर से कोशिश की जाएगी। इन्वेडर क्या ये किल पॉइंट अपने पास दर्ज कर पाएंगे, लेकिन वहीं पर सनी उनके साइड से भी रिटेलिएशन का आगाज करने की कोशिश की जाती है। ओवरऑल टीम मैक्सवेल्स काफी हद तक के लिए अपना सफर आगे बढ़ाते हुए दिखाई दी। सर्कल तक ये टीम खुद को लेकर आते हुए दिखाई दे पा रही है, लेकिन यहाँ पर इनका सामना वो टीम AQT के साथ होता हुआ दिखाई देता है। लेकिन वहीं पर इन्वेडर लकीली इनकी साइड से जहाँ पर डैमेज डील किया जाता है,
चलो
को ना सिर्फ यहाँ पर रहते हुए रीसेट कर
ये तो चल ही रहा है।
इनकी साइड से फॉल बैक को भी तरजीह दी जाती है।
इधर तो अभी इंटरव्यूज एंड ऑल है, मतलब द ब्रेक विल बी देयर। 6:30 से पहले गेम चालू नहीं हो रहा,
उनके साइड से अभी
गारंटीड।
अपना स्पॉट को होल्ड करने की कोशिश की जाएगी, लेकिन जितनी भी टीम्स आउट ऑफ जोन है उनको एट द एंड खुद को सर्कल में जरूर से लेकर आना है। आहिस्ता से यहाँ पर टीम्स खुद को आगे लेकर आते हुए दिखाई दे सकती है। वहीं पर टीम हापर एक्सकेपी उनके साइड से भी चौथा किल पॉइंट लीची अपने पास अब जाकर दर्ज कर लिया जाता है। टीम
ये 7:15 का टाइमिंग चेंज होगा,
उनको मौका मिलता हुआ दिखाई दे पाएगा, बट टीम हापर
ये 7:15 का तो टाइमिंग ही चेंज होगा।
ग्लोबल वेज वर्सेस टीम एक्सपेल्स उनके साइड से भी फाइट का
आवेज इज फ्रॉम एच Shit.
गुंडा उनको नाकुट का सामना करना होगा स्टार्क वो खुद को आगे लेकर जाते हैं उनके साइड से क्या है शानदार ये नाकुट निकाल दिया जाता है मैक्सबल्स
ये तो किर्गिस्तान वाला है, कजाकिस्तान वाला है,
ये
सॉरी,
डाउन की
किर्गिस्तान
साइड
से तो 6 आ रहा था।
स्टार खुद को रीसेट करते हुए दिखाई दें बट ये मैक्सबल्स उनको एक बार फिर से दोनों प्लेयर्स को खुद को आगे लेकर आना होगा इन्वेडर्स फ्लैग क्या ये दो प्लेयर्स आगे बढ़ते हुए मजीद किल पॉइंट्स में इजाफा कर पाएंगे लेकिन वहीं पर इन्वेडर उनको भी काफी डैमेज डील करना है इनको भी काफी हद तक ऊपर में पकड़ा जाएगा लीजिए वो के साइड से इन्वेडर को इस मैच से बाहर करने के साथ साथ मैक्सवेल्स के आखिरी प्लेयर भी इस मैच से बाहर
अभी टॉप 8 में अपनी टीम आई है।
छठा किल पॉइंट आ चुका है लेकिन टीम कारो
कॉन्ग के प्लेयर्स खेल रहे हैं, जो जो नया है उनको मैं बता देता हूँ। ईडब्ल्यूसी भी अपन देख जोन आ गए।
ऑलराइट सर्कल को देखिए सर्कल अभी भी सेंट्रलाइज्ड
ये देखो ये ओजी है अपनी, ओरांगुटान है।
स्टेज 3 आप कह सकते हैं जहां पर शूटिंग रेंज का कुछ
दे आर प्लेइंग फ्रॉम द नेम ऑफ कॉन्ग क्रू, ओरांगुटान के नाम से नहीं खेल रहे।
कह सकते हैं कि जोन में देखने को मिल रहा है बट समहाउ यहाँ पर टीम्स को अब मजीद खुद को आगे लेकर आना होगा लेकिन टीम कॉन्ग क्रू को आप देखिए किस कदर खूबसूरती के साथ ये टीम खुद को सर्कल के बिल्कुल सेंटर में लेकर आते हुए दिखाई दी दोनों के दोनों प्लेयर्स सर्वाइव करते हुए दिखाई दे पाएंगे लेकिन टीम वाइड ट्राइब उनके साइड से एक बार फिर से क्लोजनेस इख्तियार कर ली जाती है अब यहाँ पर टीम कॉन्ग क्या वो ये फाइट विन कर पाएगी लीच ये भी स्कॉट को नाखुश कर दिया जाता है
एंटी
कर दिए जाते हैं
हर जगह से पड़ी है, हर जगह से। The road to grand final starts now. चलो ये चीजें तो हो गई। हाउ इज कार्माइन को अब गोइंग टू बी देयर, वो देखना पड़ेगा। ये वाला ब्रेक कितनी देर का होगा वो भी देखना पड़ेगा। रुक जाओ ब्रोस्कीज। We going to Wordle now. O is there, T is there. T O. D is also there. तुम्हारा भाई गोट है रे गेम का। T O। अब देखो या तो डब्ल्यू है, क्या वर्ड हो सकता है? T O। टू डी। So the thing is, T O R D U, do odds, 2D। भाई क्या वर्ड हो सकता है? कोई डी, T O D तो है। टॉर टॉर्डी, टॉर्डी, टॉर्च, टॉर्ड क्यू, टॉर्डे, टॉर्ड, टॉर्डी, टॉर्डू, टॉर्डो, टॉर्डा, टॉर्च, टॉर्ड, कुछ तो वर्ड होगा। टॉडी, टोडो, टॉड। अबे अब तो एक ही वर्ड आता है, ये है नहीं। टॉडल हो नहीं सकता, टॉडी ही होगा। कभी कभी भाई इट्स टू इजी टू गेस, एक्चुअली इट्स टू इजी टू गेस। आई डोंट वांट टू सब्सक्राइब, फक इट। पैसा कौन देगा? बम्बलबी, थंडरबोल्ट, बॉम्बशेल, एटम, वोल्केनो, सोलर सिस्टम, एटम, दैट मीन्स या तो रॉकेट स्केट्स। बॉम्बशेल होगा नहीं, एटम हो गया, टीएनटी तो एक सेकंड, टीएनटी, बॉम्बशेल, भाई बहुत इजी लग रहा था। बोल रहा हूँ ना, बहुत इजी लग रहा था। देखो मैं तीन तीन तो गेस कर ही रहा था। इट वॉज लुकिंग टू गुड टू बी ट्रू यार। कौन जीत रहा? करमाइन को और रुपया। छह मिनट गाइस, 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 6 मिनट और। नो मर्सी भाई कर रहे। बाय द वे गाइस, टिल रहीम, ये सब अपन कर रहे हैं। तुम लोग किक पे जाओ। ये देखो अपन किक पे भी स्ट्रीम व्रीम करते हैं। बंकिया भाई किक पे है, अभी रेगा किक पे कर रहा है, हर्ष भाई किक पे कर रहे हैं। Win 10,000 kicks now. अच्छा ओके भाई साहब, ये तो अलग सेगमेंट है गाइज। जाओ क्रिएटर डैशबोर्ड पे, मैं बता देता हूँ तुम लोगों को। देखो किक की चीजें मेरे को छुपाने की जरूरत है नहीं। हमने 10 फॉलोअर्स क्रॉस किए हैं अभी तक। वी आर जस्ट हैविंग 10 फॉलोअर्स। अगर मैं तुम लोगों को लेजिट बता दूं ना अचीवमेंट्स में, अपने को पूरा कंप्लीट करना है। वी हैवंट येट कंप्लीटेड इट। वाईटे पे लोग पैसा नहीं दे रहे, मैं तो वही सोच रहा हूँ किक पे क्या ही दे देंगे। समटाइम्स यू थिंक लाइक दैट ना। वही चल रहा है अभी दिमाग में कि वाईटे पे पैसा नहीं आ रहा, किक पे क्या आ सकता है, आ सकता है कि नहीं भी आ सकता है। ये देखो गाइस, मैं तुम लोगों को मेरे किक का पूरा कच्चा चिट्ठा बता देता हूँ कि हमने किक पे क्या क्या किया है। बैक टू किक, व्यू योर चैनल पे चलते हैं। क्या बात कर रहे हो भाई, हमने स्ट्रीम्स की है? ये गलत है, ये गलत है। हमने स्ट्रीम्स की है भाई लोग। वी हैव हैड स्ट्रीम्स ब्रो, वी हैव हैड स्ट्रीम्स। जाओ किक पे फॉलो करो। सब लोग किक पे जा रहे हैं, पैसा भी कमा रहे हैं, हम भी कमाने की कोशिश कर लेंगे, कोशिश कर लेंगे। कमाएंगे नहीं कमाएंगे सेकेंडरी मैटर है। कमा तो हम यूट्यूब से भी नहीं रहे हैं इतना। अगर किक पे मिल जाता है The things are here. Guys, what if I say NRG 1-0 to NRG actually 2-0 होने वाली नहीं करने वाली
So
माफ कर.
this was the group of death, and my goodness, has it delivered.
And the group of death is always difficult to predict. Either you go completely out of the box and say, hey, this team is going to have one hell of a tournament, or you go for the usual suspects. The thing is, looking at the rest of the Globals that we've had lately, nobody would have blamed anyone for thinking that NRG and PaperX were going to be both of the teams making it out, leaving EMEA behind. But what we got in the end was a Team Vitality qualified as first with that win against first KC and then NRG. And now it's left to the North American squad and Carmine Corp to decide who gets that last shot. The thing is, the pressure realistically is way more on NRG because of expectations. We have been saying KC should, and I think do, wanted more. But, so can they actually overcome what it is winning against the world champion?
Yeah, let's dive into that Carmine Corp roster, who have been led by different players at different times, whether it was Aves on the IGLing, it was Narrate in the last couple of matches. It's been very fun to watch multiple players step up at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a roster that has had turbulence. This is an organization that has had turbulence within Valorant, and maybe that's putting it kindly, but it does feel like something has finally managed to click here at EWC, especially in that last game. I was enormously impressed. The man on your screen, DOS9 there. I feel like that map 3 performance from him was absolutely crucial to getting them in this decider match, but I really do believe this is a stacked squad. I think we can see everybody have a ton of potential to take over games here.
The past years for KC, we can say even all of part.
Satan से DA कौन है?
9 there. I feel like that map 3 performance from him was absolutely crucial to get it.
Good to see that now that they're bouncing back, this is a trajectory that they're following.
And the players are very aware of it, as you can see here in the road to EWC spotlighting.
रेस जाओ वो तोड़ो वो सब हाइडर भाई और पोटैटो भाई मेरे साथ आओ
अरे घोड़ा भाई आप आईजीएल कर रहे हो मैं भाग जाता हूँ
He's got a teammate. It was 2v5. It was Narrate and Lewan. They were alive. I see them both.
घोड़ा भाई doing IGLing I running away.
And then they got kill after kill after kill. Then it's 1v1. And my heartbeat is like 180. And I cannot do anything about it. He won it and then I'm released. Going into playoffs is like my biggest dream I did back then in KCX. So it was very insane. There was 30k people just rooting for us, playing against Koi. It was the best moment of my life. No matter how good is the specs of the headset, you're still gonna the big crowds. So they're gonna give us other momentum for sure.
Oh भाई क्या भीड़ है भीड़ है भाई.
And I think for everyone in my team, and it was super sad that we hard worked the whole year just to win something and we cannot. It was a good learning lesson for all of us, and it showed actually in AWC how well we learned from it. I think we had some issues with like our momentum out here. We're getting overconfident, we're doing so many mistakes, and then once we do these mistakes, we get.
इन लोगों ने नाभी वाभी को बजा के रखा हुआ है ये मेरे रीजन में.
It was my rookie split as an IGL, so this was for sure a part of it because I did so many mistakes, but I learned from it. That's the most important, and yeah, I'm looking forward for AWC.
Yeah.
Worked a lot.
Always bye.
More than in game because we were all super sad. We went in a really bad rough times, and he walked into this like he tried to make us.
तुम लोग सोचो 7:15 बजे गेम चालू होने वाला था. आई थिंक सो पहले ही चालू हो जाएगा. 6:35 का ही टाइम दिया ना मैं वही बोला 40 मिनट पहले ही चालू हो जाएगा.
Here to prove we're not.
9th, 10th during kickoff, 11th and 12th during split 1. But then finding their way to EWC has been a boon for the squad. Youngest here at EWC going up against the second oldest squad on the opposite side. NA has the unks, man. G2 is the oldest, NRG second oldest. They've got the experience and are trying to continue on that form from last year into this year's international.
I mean, that's exactly it.
Ank means they are legit anks यार.
More of these players were the ones that lift
भाई सब 28 29 वाले हैं.
This is a squad that has that potential to go all the way, that we would expect deep runs from internationally, given the caliber of player. But they have found themselves here in the decider once again. Masters London didn't go their way either. Getting grouped, EWC is a fantastic chance to recover on that year and really show the true potential of this squad.
If you're new to Valorant, you may not know this, but it is almost impossible for any team to stay on top. I believe it's only been Fnatic in 2020, what was it, 2023, sorry.
Yeah.
That managed to win 2 tournaments in a row. So it is already a difficult task to stay on top. So they could be, you know, the ones that are writing that book, the ones that can continue that. It is difficult that it's going to be from event to event, but you can have good years. You can actually build a legacy with energy. Am I still salty that they took Kiko? Yes. But, you know, they take good care of him, and I think that he is actually a great addition to this. I think that they've done more than proving what they're capable of. Their preparation all throughout champs was beyond unreal for the teams that they were playing in. So many occasions, they read them like a book. And speaking of reading like a book, they have a lot of reps on everything, let's say. So speaking about KC and the preparation for this one, as we take a look at the map, Vito,
Okay.
a lot of showings to go off from.
So NRG banning Sunset, we saw Common Core pick this in the paper Rex game, but they did lose it. And then you look at Fracture is the pick from Common Core, which is where they got that upset surprise win from there. So I do think
if they lose, I'm putting this on you this time.
Look, I mean, right now I'm looking at this
if
Vito.
If KC lose, I am putting it on you.
I like it for Common Core. I like their Fracture, and I think Haven is a map that they always love to play. They go to it a lot. I will say NRG's Breeze is for sure one of the best we have in the tournament. I think North America are so far ahead when it comes to that.
For real एक चीज सिखाऊं तुम लोगों को. मेरे को किसी ने भेजा है. ये देखो. वसई विरार में जो पानी भरा है. मेरे को पता नहीं ग्रुप पे आया है. क्या चीज है भाई? क्यों है ये?
We pick it, and we know that they will leave the Haven open because that was always a possibility, and probably they have heavily prepped for that. And we're going to jump straight into Breeze for the first game.
Yeah, very much so. This is NRG's pick. We expect them to be very, very strong here. This is the same composition that we see from them time and time again. It's a natural fit. Matter on the Harbor always looks weird when I see it. It just does strike me, but I do think
it's kind of like a waste, no?
Yeah, I always struggle to understand it, but I do really feel like this is a map that they love. On the flip side for KC, they will be rocking with that double duelist most likely if everybody locks in what we expect here. Narrate onto that jet.
पागलों जैसा बारिश बरस रहा है रे.
Yeah, we saw them play this against Fnatic in the
रुकने का नाम ही नहीं है.
Has not been a breeze for KC for the rest of the year.
ब्रीज है, फ्रैक्चर है भाई, दोनों बोरियत वाले वहां पे रे. थोड़ा फास्ट पेस असेंट देखने मिलता है.
Series 2 map wins stopping you from playing in front of the crowd. Who will ride?
अब कल क्या गेम्स है? कल वैसे कोई भी गेम जोन दो, मेरे को तो मतलब नहीं है. MIBR ऑल गेमर्स, ये G2 नॉन्गशिम शायद देख सकते हैं. BO5 शाम 7:15 बजे. देखेंगे ये अगर देख पाए तो. Till then, we begin it with NRG versus KC.
Breeze to start it off, Fracture for that second map, and potentially all the way over to Haven. And a very fast opening series, so we'd love to see this one get stretched to the limits. As barriers will now drop. This was talking about it, Mata, back over onto the harbor. Well, it does feel a little bit odd, but course, you do have Kiko looking to lead the charge with that jet, and for now, he's going to be solo saddled here on the B site. Slow creep up from KC towards that elbow position. Likely want to give that a glimpse, then potentially assess whether or not they want to go into B.
And against Paper Rex, Kiko was a real deciding factor for NRG on this map. He was their top fragger.
Sure.
He was doing a lot of good work. First Blood's up there.
Recon does not scan Scuba in this position. Crosshairs down towards mid, but now sees a gun barrel. Is going to be on the catch.
दो मार दिया. Scuba, Scuba. Tick 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 tick.
Impact going to be found.
Yeah, that's a nice little position. DOS9 thinking about challenging it now.
DOS9 was electric. That last map, their last series. And he delivered now. Scuba hasn't had much reason to leave. Now it's going to be spotted. Redraws the weapon. Decides not to go for the snake bite. It's going to be Mata getting a piece of the action.
भाग दिया आवेश पे.
Meanwhile, Kiko trying to line it up, but Ethan will be able to claim the kill. That is now
Scuba ने दो अच्छे मारे.
Can't use any util. Can't find the shot. Brock.
And then he waved.
Elimination. Scuba, the only casualty. It's a very clean pistol to start for NRG.
So you definitely have got to be happy with the way Scuba's playing here. At times he can kind of trail behind the rest of the team, but holding the line really nicely, getting that little bit of pre-fire. Levin thinks he can maybe accelerate past it, find a timing, get the shots to go himself and get a slide in there or something, but gonna be denied. Scuba, a really nice start, gives NRG their first pistol. See what KC wants to do. This is just the eco 3-2 split. Well, he's trying to toy with the map here a little bit. They've thrown the harbor smoke to get the orb at least on one side. Funnel that over into Aves. Try to get that Hunter's Fury a little bit quicker. Scuba, once again, going to be called upon.
And jump peek going to be going out. Snake bite. Try to slow down the approach. Flash up over the top as well. As that 0 point, all players going to be detained at the front of this pyramid. Finally locked into position. Ethan, though, turning away from the angles. They look to try to scale forward. Open a ring around the roads. Going to be coming through, but it's going to be the spray down coming.
DOS9 को भी spot तो किया ही होगा.
Three players on NRG.
I have the spike.
Spike will be recovered. Alves and DOS9 just with these classics. Going to be struggling to really find any significant value here, given that it's barely been any damage suffered on the NRG players. Couple taps. Steering him back away. Alves knowing that he kind of has to try to take a fight, but won't be able to do so. Mata will come away with the 2 remaining kills, and NRG get a flawless 2-0.
You got to be feeling really good if you're an NRG fan with how that round went. Not just because it's flawless, but because of the way they play. They buy a ton of time. Scuba doesn't overstay his welcome, doesn't try to go for the big, 3K. Sees a lot of players coming his way. Instead, he knows he's got Ethan coming over to set up a flash, to stall out any attempt at a quick hit by KC. Keep them pinned behind those pyramids. Get the crossfire set up. Wait for the reinforcements to arrive. And then deal with their opponents easily. That was very, very nicely handled. Love the protocols. Over towards the other side of the map. Ethan does throw out an early knife looking for some confirmation. Doesn't get anything with a pretty deep one, so it's going to leave the heavy stack for NRG over towards B. Now, Sugetsu did see that, so he is aware that they don't have any info on that A main position, but for now, KC just sending out duos, looking for those picks. Something that was
thrown over the top. Riding up through mid, Narrate going to be pushing alongside this Brock. Watching in towards that elbow position, spot out onto one. Maybe both firing off shots there as Kiko. Going to be pulling forward towards this, but Relay Bolt will get the connection, but can't quite chase deep enough nor fast enough to come away with the information. Kiko with the Marshall in hand will be able to find DOS9, so 1-for-1 exchange thus far. Dart chucked in towards that double door position.
Marshall लगी.
Smattering of damage onto Ethan. Meanwhile, though, Scuba continuing to backpedal deeper onto the B site. Catches Levin. NRG now back into a very strong position, but Aves looking to breach.
आगा दिया माड़ा ने. दिलदानी माड़ा माड़ा हो गया. 50 HP और 34 HP. अगर बोनस निकलता है.
Between Narrate and Aves. Sugetsu still at full with that Vandal in hand.
doesn't even have to be headshots on anybody except Sugetsu. Guardians do some damage.
Brock finding the first, not quite ready for the crouch peek from Narrate. Scuba now on the swing.
Nice try.
Caught off guard.
This game is going to be a hectic one.
And that will be a bonus not converted as KC are able to play ante.
Yeah, I mean, still, this is really good ideas from the side of NRG. KC able to fight back, but I think KC walked into a few traps that could have really gone NRG's way instead. You know, with that second layer in the double doors with Mata, he had a shot just go over the head of his opponent there, Abez, so he couldn't get the kill. Had he been a little bit steadier with the aim, I think this very well could have been NRG's round. So I wouldn't mind seeing KC turn up the tempo a little bit. You got that Neon. Use that to your advantage. Try to use it to take some space. Push forward. Get past that pyramid, for example, on the A site. You know, it is tough going up against the KO because you got to be a little bit careful with the timing of those knives. Like, you can just throw them right at the wall, right outside of A main, and you can kind of shut down those quick hits sometimes. But got to at least put some fear into NRG there.
Well, looks like a minor hiccup, so hopefully be taken care of rather quickly and get back into the game here. Do some final checks and make sure that all is well. But NRG's still going to be in a strong position. It's still a lot of damage dealt in the round as well. They're able to take 3 players out of the equation, so going to be a little bit rougher for KC to try to muster up a 2-2 score line. But you see that seat get folded back up. Upright position.
Whoa.
Kiko is locking in and ready to dive back into the action. So operator's going to be online.
Tray tables up, electronic devices out. Let's go.
There you go. You have a backup career if this one falls.
I know. Well, you know, that's what I wanted to be when I was a kid as a pilot.
Oh, I wasn't talking about a pilot, but or up and over the top. Not going to go for the dash, but it's still going to be able to find it.
Kiko!
Tailwind out. A thief in the night there is Kiko. That is a monstrous shot to be found on the sliding Neon. And off to a little bit of a rocky start here, 1-4 so far.
That's frustrating for KC. I really like this idea. Use that Neon to try to create some space, create an unfavorable duel, but Kiko just better in the moment.
This is one of the shortcomings of a composition like this. You don't have the flashes. You don't really have a great way to try to clear him off the angle unless you're committing the drone to that position, but then you don't have the drone for so many others.
Right.
Will just be the snakebite layer down here by Scuba. Still going to be ping revealed, but Kiko scaling forward, just swinging around that pillar, finds out.
Mada help kar raha.
Skirting past this wall is Narrate, trying to get in on top of Mata. Might be able to catch him off guard at Nest. Morning pings to come through, but now Ethan considering a counter swing out in the mid. Looks like Narrate will be safe for the moment.
माड़ा का पोजीशन देखो, माड़ा देख रहा है, ऐसा भी नहीं है माड़ा नहीं देख रहा है.
In hand here on the B site. Meanwhile, deep disconnected position here for Kiko with that off.
The discipline from NRG is incredible. They're just so patient. They got that knife confirm and they know they can just wait.
Tap of the plant, the shock dart. Not to find any damage on the DOS 9. Ethan slow on this approach. Does he suspect this tuck away position? Well, now he absolutely knows it. Narrate gets a very nice reset, but he's zoned away. Forced away. And
ये एक मारने के चक्कर में राउंड दे दिया तुमने.
Players alive. NRG going to be bolstering that.
You should have been sitting like a duck over there, bhai.
I just love the way NRG thinks on this map. Doesn't try to overcommit to advantages. Doesn't try to double down on them. Just plays it safe. Just says, okay, we've got control of the site. We've got our 5v2. We can wait them out. We know exactly where they are. Let's play contain. Let's make sure there's nobody that's going to create a lurk, that's going to maybe be able to create that extra angle that can give KC some hope into this round, or at least allow them to do more damage. This is phenomenal work from them. Extremely smart play. And that's kind of what you would expect from a team that's won a world championship and has been relatively good this year as well. Making it to internationals. Not getting the trophies, but still playing very, very well.
Snakebite will be disrespected the push pass, but there's the ping reveal, and out into the open is Levin as Brock.
Brock भाई बिना हुडन 4 मार गया. कौन था जो बोल रहा था इससे सिर्फ हुडन चलती है? He kills.
He's got to try to play this one forward. Needs to die at the end of this round one way or the other.
He always brags out, man.
The 4 remaining players.
Gotta give him the ace.
But this is the discipline that you're talking about. They're not just running out there like lunatics. Trying to find it.
Yeah, what team would do that?
I
can't think of any.
Yeah, I can't think of any, especially not from Pacific.
No. Never would happen.
I think they have the visual confirmation. I think Mata may have just spotted him. And knowing Brock, he's probably saying, well, just kill him if you see him. Don't want to risk dropping any weapons, giving anything over, getting him one charge closer. Tags coming in. Brock ever closer to this one. Sends out the recon. Looking for the stun. 3 bullets remaining in this. And it's not going to be enough. And so maybe a bit of an overcommit to try to secure the ace. But again, Sugetsu does need to fall. So they could just leave him at this point.
They just let him.
Yeah, just tuck back. Let him survive.
Yeah.
Play the hard eco game. He does not have a weapon recovery. He's going to try to maybe grab this Vandal. So, okay, he makes the best of it. Now they would like to kill him.
Oh, नहीं मरा.
So, okay. So
बचा ली गन, बचा ली.
Save that a little bit. But still another round to NRG.
Yeah, that's just a really good round from Ethan and Brock.
ये one-sided games हो गए भाई.
Perfectly timed. It lands, hits the entry players, and look at this. Look at the assists of that knife. Incredible. Because it shuts down their ability to respond with any util, maybe create some extra
ये actually one-sided games हो गए.
extra space there. And it just allows Brock to put him in the Broctagon, just shut him down. Beautiful, beautiful. NRG looks really clean today.
Yeah, I mean, 8-2 could have been that 9-1, but still a scary scoreline. And one of the things that we weren't really seeing was, you know, players like Brock and Scuba get activated in the way that we know that they can over at Masters London.
It's been Brock and Kiko on this map doing a lot of good stuff.
And now he knows.
for NRG, and
After that drone, the Posey has been compromised.
If the drone goes up and over the top,
Narrate kiye up.
in need of some assistance. And there it goes. But okay, Hunter's Fury gonna be sent
But
out.
always.
That initial tag, just knowing exactly where the drone was coming from.
And Lewin is also low.
On a platter, and they still disguise Mata's position.
what a read.
He had to cancel it. So now Narrate, he's just gonna go walking forward. If Mata just looks over to the right-hand side, would be able to see this jet. Instead, it's gonna be DOS9. First one to fall into the trap, and Narrate does manage to turn back, find that kill. He's trying to
Oh! Hey, yaar, ye lagginess.
Trying to go for the quick scope. An awkward duel here between the jets, but it's going to be knives popped as Narrate starts to feel the pressure. He has that spike in hand. The two players now potentially getting
Ethan
surrounded.
be like...
Gets going to be dead on the entry. Levin now arriving, wants to try to play this patiently. He will just take his kill. But Ethan tucked away. The up and over attempt. The swing out.
नहीं रे, peek थोड़ी करना होता है.
Shuts down Ethan. The plant can now come in, and it's down to Scuba to try to.
You could have let him plant, bro.
Looked like it was just gonna.
You could have just let him plant.
Around for them. They're able to continue that push up elbow. There's even a tag. There's even confirmation there. But it's a nice setup there with Mata, that forward positioning, waiting for that drone to tee up the Hunter's Fury to get that first pick. And you think, oh, here we go again. But they break out. They coordinate that hit onto mid. They want to collapse and clear that space. And they do so extremely well. And NRG just didn't quite have the backup for Mata there in time. Just a little bit late.
Going in off the reckoning, dodged there by Kiko. Doesn't have that operator in hand anymore, and Ethan is over-committing onto an angle. Rather than just trying to backpedal away, their own reckoning now going to be sent down. Kiko still in this off angle is going to be able to find one Mata with another, but Aves pushing for it alongside Levin. Gets him back into a winning position. Spike in hand, still feeling not the most cozy to try to go for this as Brock to try to scale, and what a shot is that! Immediately destroys him. The drone out.
Just a bait out drone.
Worried about this potential ring around the rosy, scooping out with the greatest sight lines. Spot on the one, but with the near sight, Brock wins that fight.
एक मिनट मेरे को लगता है बटन की वजह से थोड़ी सी माइक लो हो गई है. I guess now it's perfect.
Not going to be fast enough on the draw. NRG. A swift shutdown. It started off as a 4v5.
That is just filthy stuff from Brock again. Ethan here just, stuck in a weird spot, opted to try to go for the kill. Couldn't get anything out of it, just didn't get any value. So you're thinking, okay, this could be the door open for KC. Start doing some damage, but then Brock shows up to the party. They've got some good entry points coming in from the doors, coming in from spawn. Nice punch back from KC. I like the idea. Curious to me, they have the hero rifle in Levin's hands. He's got the overdrive. You do have 3 sheriffs and a bandit, and Mata's already set Levin down.
Yeah, no chance for that overdrive to come into effect here. Swing the corner, Narrate with a clean shot. Ethan again going to be taken down as Hunter's Fury's going to be committed to this. Is that going to be an overstep? Looks like maybe not. So gets to Narrate, able to find a kill apiece.
2v2.
We're getting taken down.
Oh!
So now that
The things are getting crazy.
lurk, that win condition taken out of their hands. Chavez has to do it all himself.
Eyes in the back of his head.
आज थोड़ी स्ट्रीम अटकी होगी गाइस.
The knives to be popped, and Chavez trying to reposition is just going to be caught, so it's an immediate shutdown. No hope of the clutch to come through. NRG now moving up 6-2.
Yeah, just when you can hit sheriff shots, it's a big difference maker. The Narrate tries to be the guy. He has been so good for them this event. I have been so impressed with his play. And he's had a couple nice moments here, but it's just that teamwork, that coordination. Even though this doesn't go NRG's way initially, last couple of players
3-1, 2-1, 2.
disciplined with watching
Now maybe 1
knowing what their
and
jobs
then
are.
3.
I cannot
A 9.5 maybe.
the preparation that NRG has put into this map here. They look so well drilled. They understand what.
अब एक बात बोलूं, जैसे केओ साइड पे अगर नियॉन अल्टी पॉप होगी, वैसे ही केओ की अल्टी पॉप आएगी.
That's a pit out towards mid doors. See that too often. Chavez wants to go searching for it, but I don't think he's going to get quite there. Yeah, it's going to be short.
Unable to find that Viper. Ethan able to get
Scuba.
And Scuba got a kill.
That he does. Left dead. Yeah, he just counter spammed.
Yeah, he just went out and saw it on the mini map maybe and just went for the spam.
They've dropped this pit, but already KC very much corralled in towards B. Could still go for a late pivot if Sugetsu's able to find anything over here, but with a double stack, it just seems so unlikely. Toxic screen falling. Tuck into the corner. Mata with the shift and reposition. 2 players going to be spotted off that 0 point. It's going to have them backpedaling away as Narrate try to stick around here. Just tucked in. Wait for the rotations to come through. Try to get a massive flank.
Yeah, KC always wants to have that extra player behind, but so far NRG's been pretty good about dealing with that.
This Soul Credence led to that. Scuba now, however, he's got the spike. They know that they got pretty good control here as DOS9 will still be able to win out that fight, but now the null command's going to be called in, Ethan. Look in the zone.
वो बचा लिया मारा ने.
It's just a bit too whiffy. The push now coming in. Kiko ready to try to shut them down. Finds the first dash.
DOS9 भी like मेरे को स्पाइक भी उठाने नहीं दे रहा है.
The round is over. There's no way to work his way over.
Now don't drop out the guns. And it's a 7-2.
The Rate will just have to opt to save this Phantom, carry that over into the next round. They end up losing this one on time.
I like that Mata drew a circle with his harbor wall here. Just love that. Create a little fighting ring for yourselves.
I mean, if you want to put somebody in the Broctagon,
yeah,
that's one way
true.
to do it.
That's true. I love it.
Surround the Sova with it and let him.
अरे स्नैक्स चाचा को सुपर चैट में किया अभी पूछ रहे कि वालों इससे ये बोले कि कंफर्म.
I already thought there was one because we had that brief little tech pause, so that was not a real one. But anyway, I mean, it's so efficient from the side of NRG and the way that they spread the map, the way.
देखो भाई, सब अपना स्टेटमेंट्स दे रहे हैं. Maybe मैं भी wrong हो सकता हूँ.
KC got through one of them with that Hunter's Fury.
Maybe he'll be wrong. आ गया. भाई ये झाड़ गिरना मत.
And that's just like.
झाड़ गिरना मत, बाकी पता नहीं मेरे को. Because the discussions happened ना, उस हिसाब से तो इसी साल आ जाना चाहिए.
And we can maybe find a kill out of that, and they do, because they're gonna have to walk through some.
The discussions which happened उस हिसाब से इस बार ही आना चाहिए. और मैं तुमको एक और चीज सजेस्ट करूंगा. Continue your tournaments.
So now a little bit of an adjustment here.
Get the first mover advantage. Continue your tournaments. Because you will be very much happy about it कि भाई तुमको जितनी रीच मिलेगी ना उतनी रीच किसी को नहीं मिलेगी initially.
Now the walk forward in. Suffers some decay. Stun's just going to be shrugged off here by Scuba, who's tucked. He's waiting for that stun to expire.
हॉर्स भाई से सीख क्या है? हॉर्स भाई से सीख क्या है? 3 मार दिया. हॉर्स भाई बेस्ट टीचर हो आप.
What a brilliant play.
हॉर्स भाई
KC never had an idea. And when they found out, they were not ready for the bad news.
That's that.
हॉर्स भाई आपका वीसीडी गए. मेरे को लग रहा है कि
Wait for them to commit. 1, 2, and he gets the third.
Maybe. Possibility.
He just dives right in there. Incredible. I mean, again, but it's all these little tricks.
Because players grinding out मेरे को नहीं लगता कि खराब है भाई. Players grind तो कर ही रहे.
NRG is a step ahead. Like, they know what KC is going to do before they do it. That round right there, I guarantee they took that time out and talked about it. And now that's something you got to consider as KC. So don't be surprised to see Scuba find a way to try to punish that if they go B again. They may well not, because there's only 2 more rounds left in the half.
He's using that same wall setup, and if nothing else, it's constantly going to have them thinking about it.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, bit of a change up as Brock maybe to try to.
मेरे को पता है, actually अब खेलने की इच्छा कम होती है, उल्टा कास्टिंग की इच्छा ज्यादा होती है. Bro, मारा.
Potentially this entire round for free. Scoop is still here to try to hold the line as the recon will not be able to spot him out from here. Ethan at the same time, he's able to find
3v3.
Lurk trying to work his way over. No way to interrupt this plan, but Toss9 even suffering some damage. Scuba is just finding so much. He can do nothing wrong. He is walking on water until that. But look at the damage dealt. Toss9 at 47, Aves at 45. Scuba has already done an immense amount in this round to try to set up Kiko and
2v2.
success.
He needs to check close left. He needs to.
Well, now he knows for sure.
Unbarrel was spotted, but Kiko finds Toss9. Aves has to win this fight and has to try to play the time. Shock dart out, fragment going to be exchanged on the other side. They have to start sticking this one right here, right now. It's not quite planted for him, but Kiko's not going to be able to hold this one up the half, so Aves will be.
NT. The time they took was good.
But it takes so much.
Takes everything. I'm not even. Did he?
मेरे सामने कम से कम ग्लोबल में और इंडिया में 300 से 350 टीम है पूरे ग्लोबल में. अरे अच्छा तुम ग्लोबल के टूर्नामेंट्स तो चालू रखो. तुम सीएन सर्वर पे एटलीस्ट कुछ तो चालू रखो. बिकॉज देखो मैं मजाक भी नहीं कर रहा हूँ. फॉर रियल एक चीज मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन कर देता हूँ. The moment Valo Mobile will come into this scene now, एक मिनट मैं ये राउंड देख लेता हूँ क्योंकि अल्टीमेट की वजह से राउंड इंटरेस्टिंग हो गया. स्कूबा गॉट वन. मैं राउंड खत्म करने के बाद आई बी बैक टू यू. Is DOS9 for real 1 HP? Yeah, he is one.
Oh, Ethan, he's here in the footsteps. He's out a little bit wider, and with Toss9 so very low, the
Let's go. The round is done. हाँ, so I was saying you, तुम पास 300 से 350 टीम्स है ना. मजाक भी नहीं कर रहा हूँ. तुम टूर्नामेंट्स कंडक्ट करवाओ right now. Whether it be rewarding or not, वो secondary matter है यार. बिना rewards के भी अगर तुम टूर्नामेंट्स करवाओगे, it is good. Because first mover advantage तुमको मिलेगा whenever the game comes. Secondary जब भी गेम आएंगे ना, सच बता रहा हूँ, प्रोडक्शन कॉस्ट, कास्टर्स की कॉस्ट, हैंडलिंग द टूर्नामेंट कॉस्ट, बहुत कुछ आने वाला है. एंड अगर तुमको अच्छे लोग चाहिए इन योर मैनेजमेंट, तो मैंने तो तुमको एक बिल भेजा है। ऐसी बहुत सारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस है या मैनेजमेंट कंपनीज है जो टूर्नामेंट्स करवा रही है और इससे ज्यादा पे आउट्स दे रही है, तो competing with them it is very important कि तुम अभी से फर्स्ट मूवर एडवांटेज लेके काम करो।
You can just tell how well drilled this is. Multiple layers for NRG to peel back as time went on.
करो,
on the defender side. We'll see
who is stopping you?
side is going to hold
देखो मैं तुम लोगों को, मैं तुमको सीरियस बता रहा हूँ। the thing I told you is very serious, क्योंकि जरूरी है भाई, बहुत जरूरी है।
try to make this a fast series for themselves.
Well, and the scary thing for KC is NRG generally better on the attacker side on this map, so it isn't going to get any easier. But I mean, we've seen KC be very resilient.
बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है, मतलब फॉर रियल बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है।
Have to dig deep coming into this second half. That man right there, Scuba, put on an absolute highlight reel over on B site. Was just such a great anchor, so difficult to deal with, and I love the way that he would use his conditioning from success to breed more success, to work it against them, change his positions in areas where they don't expect him to be over there. They started all from the pistol. He did it right out the get-go, hiding from that first recon dart.
Yeah, a couple of spotlight thieves with a great supporting cast on NRG. Scuba and Brock just
क्योंकि मैंने तुमको भेजा है, नहीं भेजा है, मैं वही डिस्कॉर्ड ही चेक कर रहा हूँ, शायद मैंने तुमको भेजा है।
depending on the round, but like you said, typically better on the attacker side.
हाँ देखो, मैंने तुमको भेजा है।
KC need one hell of a
वो
defense
कितने का है?
on this back. Granted, after we saw
6 BO1, 2 BO3 और 1 BO5, सोच लो।
the 212 recovery from Nongshim. Couldn't close the series though, so
No, but it's one of those things that will be in everybody's minds the rest of the event. You know, like everybody's gonna be like, well, you know, Nongshim did it. Oh no.
हाँ तो ग्लोबल कर लो।
Scuba fearlessly still just storming his way forward onto the A site. Not going to be spotted out by
देखो,
Lopez.
I would always say you one thing, पैशन एक जगह है, पैसा एक जगह है। पैशन से पेट नहीं भरेगा, पैसों से भरेगा। स्कूबा गेट्स वन।
Able to find that value. The quick swing, the instant headshot, DOS9 dead. Now Spike going to be brought forward, and Aves trying to stay tucked away, but that recon will reveal him. Gets an immense amount of damage there on the Brock. With Scuba tagged up previously. The shock dart would kill, but he's unable to find it. Meanwhile, Kiko, massive backstab opportunity, slowly going to be creeping.
घूमी घूमी एक किको देखो।
Vendors spawn. The rest of NRG, as tagged as they are, can try to hold this line. Kiko could very much benefit for it. As Ethan
He should have thrown that fragment over here.
Right with one, but Kiko now arriving on the bridge. There's the one, there's the two.
Double.
The drop down, the tailwind forward, gets himself in behind Orange. And right now, needing to try to check for this, and this delays them from getting onto the spike.
Still a snake bite.
The defuse having to be started. Narrate pulls off the defuse for a brief little moment.
Whoa.
But he's fallen. Sugetsuno
बढ़िया.
he just doesn't have the time on his side.
And Scuba gets the last one as well. Perfect, हाँ, बहुत बढ़िया लर्क।
There's just so many layers to what they're doing in this pistol round. This is
देखो, I would say you one thing, मैं मजाक भी नहीं कर रहा।
spend a serious amount of time breaking this one down because there's so much going on here from the initial push.
No, भाई कैसा, how it is a gambling thing, मतलब मेरे को चीज एक्सप्लेन करो, how it is a gambling kind of thing, because BGMI में भी paid scrims होते हैं, even in BGMI paid scrims are there, क्या कर लोगे?
To be overwhelmed there at elbow. Only one shot to the shoulder, so Brock still pretty damn healthy. And NRG for now, I'm still just waiting to see if KC try to push forward, try to get information, try to make a hero play. They know that they're not going to have the util coming into this round to really be able to scout them out effectively, so they have to just do it with their own two eyes.
Valve में इंडस्ट्री बूम करेगी तो पेड स्क्रिम्स वगैरह चालू हो जाएंगे।
Call from NRG. Always have to be cautious against these ecos. too many teams, I think, make the mistake of not being.
और स्क्रिम्स नहीं होंगे, बेसिकली टूर्नामेंट ही होंगे पेड, बिकॉज स्क्रिम्स तो क्या ही 2 प्लेयर्स में तुम बेस्ट ऑफ 5 करवा दोगे 2 टीम्स में, तो मजा नहीं आएगा.
Considering to try to run him down. Shock dart's even going to start coming into the equation here as he's scaling forward. He's trying to get those right clicks in, but it's going to be Brock. A little bit of damage.
Brock be like,
a little bit of fun on the back end.
इतनी देर से ट्राई कर रहा हूँ, मरता ही नहीं है.
Meanwhile, Brock, now realizing that he has been intercepted, so will be contained away from the rest of the team, but the rest of the team pushing their way forward onto the B site, so all sites from KC now naturally have to be trained in this direction. Brock will just go sprinting through A, maybe up to bridge and try to find a backstab opportunity. Making plenty of noise.
Oh, bye.
Not quite registering it there. Brock is just getting away with murder again.
Yeah, there should be nothing left to do. I mean, Levin has a sheriff, tries to do some damage, tags up Mata. Nothing.
दो बंदों को लो किया है.
Surviving with 2, Brock with 28. Levin will be able to find the finisher onto the Sova. Wants to try to find anything else that he could possibly get, but it will just be a bullet from Kiko.
Perfect.
NRG looking to just quickly wrap this one up.
और मैं बोला कि इंडिया की कम्युनिटी में रहोगे तो पेड वाला 90% होगा.
That's kind of been the story of the day today. EDG just couldn't muster up much of a fight earlier against BBL, and here.
हाँ तो होगा ही, obviously होगा.
NRG all day. And I'm pretty concerned. I mean, going back to the
many organizations are there.
Damage. KC again going to be facing some pretty hefty firepower regardless. How many of those players? 2, 1 tap to Kiko's Outlaw. Still Mata with that Bulldog. Couple Guardians in there. Brock, give him the Vandal. He's been damn good with it. Drawn out. Ooh.
Trying to find
The
that
bullet is connected or not? No.
Would have left DOS9 absolutely wrecked.
दो बंदे ऐसे हैं जो 50-50 मतलब एक एक गोली खा लेंगे और मर जाएंगे. लून को देखना पड़ेगा, चेकआउट करना पड़ेगा.
Sticking around, but yeah, will get pushed back, and Levin on the counter swing is able to find him.
That was kind of the plan here for NRG. Leave Kiko to his own devices to see if they could get a little bit extra space over towards B.
Wall will be falling, but Sugetsu's able to find that kill and drops back over to safety. Meanwhile, the pinch in from mid, still going to be coming through.
बढ़िया, good frags around.
Brock finding one, Scuba going to be pinned.
बढ़िया Brock, 2v2.
Just double checking up over the top of the wall, still going to be able to find that elimination.
नहीं यार.
Counter spraying, follows the tracers. Does manage to find a headshot. The jump up.
Scuba
not quite going to be fast enough on that. 2 players survive. KC once again going to be preventing a bonus conversion.
It's still again pretty good damage being done by NRG. 3 guns dropped there. And a little bit of armor damage to one of the other players. Sugetsu. Nice quick reactions from him. Brock's gonna have a Hunter's Fury already here. Looks like he's gonna only go for this sheriff. Oh, what's he doing? Where's the money going, Brock?
A Marshall.
A Marshall. Couldn't clear the knife, so
the Odin guy using a Marshall.
Initially, thwart any attempts at pushing further in towards A main, but a lot of mid control here being established by KC like this. Makes it a lot more difficult for NRG. Force them into the extremities. They go A. Feels like you're maybe willing to play a little bit more retake potentially. We'll just have to see.
Who wrecked Mata? He's down to 15. He'll take that Marshall in a hand.
That's a good question. DOS9 maybe?
Could be, but tap at the door. Ethan trying to see if he can get a rise out of them, but it's just going to be that counter spam. Narrate. Tipping away. Got this KO.
Well, KC's had some good reads. Some good angles to at least soften some targets up. will be Scuba looking for that
11-5
late lurk
प्लेऑफ्स में क्वार्टर
from
फाइनल डबल
NRG.
एलिमिनेशन वाला यस और फिर वाले फॉर्मेट में इजी
Considering
होता है और
the
फ्री
big
में
hit,
डिफिकल्ट होता है
Drone leads the way.
फॉर्मेट तो 32 BO3
Chavez
ऑल मैच
in the
टॉप
back.
टू
He's actually just spamming for
ग्राउंड
players, just ignoring the drone.
बढ़िया बढ़िया है
Run out, gonna be exchanged on both sides.
आई वुड से बढ़िया ही
He's
चीज है
outbound. Kiko trying to find a target, and he will. Levin's gonna be taken down as Aves cleans up Ethan.
और रियल खराब नहीं है
Position now for Kiko, hearing these footsteps on the other side. Wants to play ring around the Rosie and catches Aves with util in hand. Hell went over to the side.
डॉस9 को अगर मार दिया रहता ना मजा आ जाता
We'll be able to take him out. The spike gonna be planted. The Hunter's Fury trying to peel back some of this pressure as the rate goes up and over the top. And he will be able to find just about both of them. Brock's gonna be completely surrounded, skirts back the opposite side of the wall. The kill going through the shock dart, softening up DOS9 even further, but now he is out of util. The lower player going for the defuse. Brock trying to get the spray and pray across, but the defuse won't be stuck.
मरता ना उस स्पैम में अगर डॉस9 मजा आ जाता
Still afloat, still denying that map point from NRG.
Yeah, it's key that DOS9 survives here at the end because he can get that cove up, give himself a little bit of extra protection. Gets a little scrappy here though for NRG, taking a lot of damage early. That really hurts them in the long run. Really causes the players to be a little bit more cautious than they maybe normally would be. So Blade Storm available for Kiko. Ethan goes for a stinger. Brock has enough for the Vandal here. Based on the previous save, Blades just popped right off the rip and they're just going.
Fast hit, looking for the change up. Damage gonna be suffered, spotted on a one. Kiko can't quite get that second shorty pump to come out, so Sugetsu staying alive for a bit. And that is going to be the retreat here for NRG, but all of this allows for Scuba to go on this insert out through tunnel. Comes away with a kill, making it a 1-for-1.
Fast pivot here. Depends on how active Levin wants to get. High Tide put up in front of his face. Is he going to disrespect it?
So risk if he does, but okay, just enough of a pocket to peek through. Ethan will fall. Levin needs to not overstep from here, because otherwise that could be a weapon recovered. It's just that one Vandal alongside the Bandits. The former of which is still in mid and about to be surrounded. Oh, and Brock timing. Shifting over to the side, maybe a bit of an audio bait there for Sugetsu. Either way, he has been outdone. And it seems like KC not finished with this map quite yet. Plata trying to find that stun. Setting up the smoke, but it's just far too late. It's not fast enough. Levin has the kill. Scuba will just retreat, go for the weapon save. Carry that Vandal over into the next round, but KC get themselves up to 6.
Well, got to give KC a lot of credit. Talked a lot about how good NRG was on their defender's side, about reading their opponents. They're doing the same thing. They're finding their little individual style, their ability to hit and then run. You know, Levin plays this so nicely here on the high tide. Sugetsu doesn't go down to the shorty there, even though Scuba finds that backstab. Levin plays this round really, really nicely. Finds great times to disrespect that Harbor util. Very, very sturdy so far, RKC. So a very important round here. NRG looking to just get themselves up to 12. Get ready for the next one, but KC.
They want to try to make this fast again. Players at main could try to contain this for KC. Push forward, Sugetsu able to find the first, but Ethan trades it back. And this Brock down. Reckoning through. Blind is out. Levin cleaned up. DOS9 dead. 3-2. NRG. Back on the warpath. Try to take this up to map point. One away from the knives, one away from that Hunter's Fury. Not available to try to prevent this plant. Try to find a free, disconnected kill. Right, just swinging around the side. Will be able to find one, makes his exit, gets him back into a 2v2. Suddenly it becomes a hell of a lot more doable. So swinging the corner on the raid, finds another. Ethan dead. Kiko having to do it all, and he shall.
Outrun me.
Gets the 3K. NRG now up by 6. Map point is theirs.
Whoa, that got real close. KC just inches away from giving themselves a couple more rounds, at least sending it down to another eco potentially. Nice little trade here early. The setup, the 3-man stack through mid finds value. They find open space. A good read here by Ethan. to get his team into a position where they can get that plant down quickly. Now facing the full might of KC's ultimates. Literally everything available.
बस राइट का एक अनाउंसमेंट आ जाए तो एक महीने में कम से कम 2-3 टूर्नामेंट करा दूंगा और आपको डीसी में सेंड कर देता हूँ. भेज दो एक बार.
Oh, hello?
Has to backpedal away from that one real quick. The knives gonna go over.
हाँ, Narrate died by himself.
मुन्ना 1.5 किलो है ना गोल भी लेके आ.
Well, it's a 1v1. It's a 1-to-1.
Dead.
It's an equal trade. As Levin
Worth
manages to find the kill. And you know what? If you win the round, it is worth.
Totally worth.
Dawson finds Ethan creeping out of nest, but he himself surrounded, and Kiko able to strike.
खुद से ही मर गया भाई.
For now, out of her pit, as Sugetsu spotted a 1. Slides back into this. Reinforcements going to be coming in, but it looks like Energy might just be quietly creeping their way back out of this.
Well, they should hear that, though. I think Kiko made noise.
3 बनाम 3.
That's just an overdrive pop to expire. Levin not going to get the opportunity to use that at all. Now, KC,
अगर स्कूबा नहीं मरा होता ना, it would have been a good thing for them.
To the B site, and Brock still well out towards mid. He's wary that the Viper's going to go through shop, through main.
एक मारा और मर गया.
Not to be the case. He needs to try to join in alongside Mata sooner rather than later.
But he's going to be able to confirm the presence of KC here.
If he doesn't push this fast enough.
Beautiful.
Exactly where he needs to be. Recon can be tucked away from, but Sugetsu's still going to be known. Attention split on both sides. The wall set up to try to cut this off.
टाइम ही नहीं है.
Catch onto one. Eventually able to steady the spray. Snake bite over towards the arch side, but Mata's still going to be tucked over at backside. The stick having to come through. And Mata
बोला ना टाइम ही नहीं है. टाइम पास कर लिया. ब्रॉक एक्चुअली टाइम पास करने गया था आगे.
Brock as well.
भाई मैच जीते, सीरीज थोड़ी. बाय द वे गाइस, विकिपीडिया खोलते हैं. अबे सब अलग अलग है पता है. esports वर्ल्ड कप रॉकेट लीग भी है ना. एनआरजी कौन कौन टीएसएम क्वालिफाई की. एक टीबीडी है, एक टीबीडी है. तो रॉकेट लीग भी है, मतलब इसमें ओवरवॉच नहीं है. पबजी मोबाइल है, फेडल फ्यूरी है, ऑनर ऑफ किंग्स भी है. ऑनर ऑफ किंग्स का वर्ल्ड कप भाई. एसीडीएल इज हियर. कहाँ गई इवन. रेवेनेंट है, मतलब एसीटीएल प्लेन्स के लिए क्वालिफाई कर चुकी है और रेवेनेंट ग्रुप स्टेजेस के लिए. भाई साहब बहुत सारी टीम्स है भाई. मार्वल राइवल्स नहीं है, ठीक है. फोर्टनाइट, कॉल ऑफ ड्यूटी में भी ईडब्ल्यूसी है, ईएएफसी में भी है, ई स्पोर्ट्स नेशंस कप. अभी तक तो बंदे ये नहीं हुए हैं. चरणजोत खेलेगा ना इसमें. दी फाइनल्स, आइडेंटिटी 5, फ्री. हाँ भाई साहब फ्री फायर भी तो है. 3 इंडियन टीम्स है इधर तो, 1-2 भी नहीं है, 3 है. एसीटीएल, टोटल गेमिंग, एपेक्स. So many things are going. बहुत सारी चीजें बहुत टाइम तक होती रहेगी. उधर क्या हो रहा है भाई? जी 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 में इस कॉन्ग लाइव कॉन्ग भाई मर गई।
देखना चाहता हूँ कि एक्चुअल कौन सी वो टीम है जो कि टीम वाइब ट्रैप
मतलब थोड़ा सा सीन है। मिस्टर बीस्ट गेमिंग में क्या चल रहा है? 58 मिलियन तो मिस्टर बीस्ट के गेमिंग के चैनल पे भाई। ये आदमी ये सब बन गया ना अगर कभी 8 दिन में 61 मिलियन 70 मिलियन 90 मिलियन। ये बेस्ट फिलेंथ्रोपी अलग है। लाइफ सेविंग क्लिनिक्स अराउंड भाई ये बंदा बहुत क्रेजी सा है पता है। बहुत क्रेजी सा बंदा है बहुत ज्यादा क्रेजी बंदा है। चलो टेल द टाइम नहीं चालू होता है अपन फुल स्क्रीन करके बैठेंगे और क्या। भाई किक पे 800 900 लोग 1000 लोग 1200 1500 लोग रेगा को देखते हैं। वाइट पे तो आनी ही है। क्या है क्या है? ये तो हो गया ना। आज 3 घंटे में 3 मैप हो गए हैं और ऐसा लग रहा है कि भाई अगले 1 घंटे में तो सीरीज खत्म हो जाएगी।
Fracture, this is where they get to do all of the W gaming and cross all the different ways to entry onto that A and B site.
Yeah.
And then Karmine Corp won, and so now Karmine Corp get to use that as their unique pick here.
Yeah, I mean, that's the story for sure. I had counted them out when it went to Fracture in that last series. But they really showed their resilience, and I think they really actually understood the map, probably even maybe more than they thought they even did, to the point where they play it, they win it, and they go, guys, maybe we should be picking this. Maybe we don't need Sunset. Maybe this is the one. And that's what it feels like. So hopefully they're able to replicate that that we saw from them in the past.
Excuse me, boys.
Yeah, and also if we add on to the fact that Energy did lose this map against PaperX, you know, if I am able to win against PaperX and PaperX is with them to
the old transitive property there, right? You know, I can beat A,
we just
B,
hope that
beat
this
C.
is but the thing is, like, in Valorant, it's never like that, and it's always like rock paper scissors. It's not because you are able to win, you know. It doesn't work like that. For the side of KC, I understand why they want to feel that way, why they also want to surprise. I think that you have to, right? Getting at this moment in the tournament where everything is at stake and you are not the favorite, you have to surprise. For the side of NRG, though, when they played against PaperX, I remember asking the casters, how did that game go? And they said that NRG were always in control. The problem is that PaperX was getting a lot of momentum because they were getting a lot of rounds on the board, and bouncing back from that was getting more and more complicated. And at the end of the day, it was PaperX Fracture. So, of course, it's not something that they were exactly bad at.
Look, for me, I'm still believing in the hero's journey here for Karmine Corp. You know, they faced that adversity. It's tough. Then the bounce back. We're on the climb. Just when it looks like it might all fall apart, that's when heroes are made. That's when stories are written, especially here at EWC. Karmine Corp, they now have to pull off 2 perfect maps to get in front of that home crowd.
Well, I feel like there are a couple of maps where, you know, shooter's gonna shoot, you can just play straight up and work through your gunplay. But I feel like there are a couple of maps where if you come in with set strategies, it gives you a massive advantage. Breeze being one, and I think Fracture being another one.
Yeah, I think Fracture plays so differently to all the other maps in the pool, right? That's why it's very Marmite. You love it or you hate it.
You're either very good or you're very bad. Like, it is difficult to, when there's 2 teams that are good at it, that there is, I would say, a bigger difference because you see who understands it better.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also the reason why a lot of teams and players really don't like this map, because you have to play it so differently. You see the roles have to shift around. It's, you know, the only one in the pool now where we see a lot of Brimstone. Very different for the Smokes players. Like, it does feel different to play. So NRG, it did look like a weakness when we saw it from them last. It's more about if they were prepared for it coming up in this veto. How much work have they put in since we last saw it against PaperX? And for Karmine Corp, how much have they been able to improve on what they were able to do in that great upset?
And Fracture, it's already a difficult map if we think about it from the angle of all the metas that we've had. What has been strong, how Viper has been slowly, for some reason, leaving most of the maps now, how the double duelist is played, how you still have to manage to keep control of some part of the maps. Looking forward to see if we get Team Heretics playing on this map, because actually at EMEA, they had one of the better understandings. But on this one, I feel like I have to be on NRG's boat. I feel like they will continue that performance that they were having on Breeze, because seriously, they were just the better team.
Wow, that's some serious EMEA doubt from you. Not me, the truest of believers. Karmine Corp turn this around. They run the bracket. You gotta stop believing, people. Now is the time.
I gotta give them both.
All right, we're diving into Agent Select now. It will be Karmine Corp on defense first, running that double duelist, the same composition that we saw them run earlier against PaperX.
Yeah, so this is both what we would expect from them. The only difference here is that Raze versus the Waylay. Now, for me in general, I like how Americas uses the Waylay. I feel like they're the most ahead in terms of that. Look for these cheeky set places. The Saturate can find a lot of value on this map, as well as that double dash to create a lot of space. Raze is trying to do the same thing with those satchels, but ultimately, there'll be a lot of mutual understanding across this on how each team likes to play.
You need to control the map, especially when there are 2 Phoenixes on play, and I want to see players like Suigetsu, for example, stepping up a little bit, but Casey from this defense needs to fight. If control of the tempo falls into the hands of NRG, this might be a quick map.
Backs against the wall, but the blue wall stands with it. It's Karmine Corp needing 2 map wins to make it to the playoffs. NRG have done the tough work of winning their map pick. Now will they be able to get the upset and move on to the playoffs? Let's find out with this Group B decider, map number 2, KC versus NRG.
The Fracture has been a tricky one For NRG, dominant regionally, but struggling whenever they get to the internationals. Dispatched on that map by Paper Rex, a 13-9 scoreline in favor of SEA squad. NRG not been able to find a win on it since playing back in Americas.
Yeah, a little bit of a tough go of them for a map I'm sure they felt very comfortable on coming into London, but you know, ran into Foot, lost to them. They've lost to Paper Rex on this map too, whereas KC on the other hand just beat Paper Rex and looked really clean about it. Had some really good anti-ideas, I think, especially with Narrate, with the Phoenix using his ult to often counter Jing's Ray's ult. Now, that's not going to necessarily need to be the case here. So then I look at Kiko, think, hey, man, you see what he's doing yesterday? You know, there's a Raze on the other side there. Maybe. You can try and mimic some of that, but we'll have to wait and see. But KC, I just thought, had a really good general idea of how to play the map. Like they controlled space well. They took their moments. They were countering whatever Paper X wanted to do. They were able to kind of work the map in different ideas that kept Paper X guessing. So for NRG, you know, was that what you saw the other day enough here to give you the read? Was Bonkar able to put together another masterclass?
Almada offering up that Sheriff over to Brock, getting that into his hands, ensuring that he's able to have those 3 Sky Smokes as well. Push at the corner, it's going to be Narrate taking that first kill. Levin, however, going to be taking quite a bit of damage, and Kiko will be taking both of them down. Kill found, Blaze Wall. As well as that Haunt going to be chucked out, Sugetsu just to say tucked into the corner, but likely would have been spotted.
Plant will be good.
Coming through, and he's going to try to play the rest of this out a little bit more quietly.
Molly Hake.
Wire going to be cleared. Ethan staying entrenched here at the spike, has that frenzy, wants them to get up close and personal with him, but weapon now will be heard. Molly as well going to be sent out at his feet. Takes him a little bit low.
Ethan gets one. Kiko with another one.
Now it's just Sugetsu tagged to 24. Somehow try to pull a 3K out of the hat.
Molly आएगी.
Still has to re-clear the entirety of the site. Drops back down. Has not been able to hold this to happen. All the mollies layered in. Kiko.
पता था Molly आएगी.
And that is a scary way for NRG to start things off. Kiko just 2 charges from having that ult online.
I mean, you basically feel like he's 100% going to have it for the bonus. It could even get it in the next round. Not going to want to use it most likely, but it's a little bit of a weird start here. Nice high-low setup for KC, but this round to me was all about the counters from NRG. It's that flash from Kiko into the double kill, and then when there's the molly onto site, the prowler into the molly onto Ethan, that's when NRG actually swings to bail him out. Those are really good individual calls, individual decisions in the heat of the moment that win NRG that pistol and keep the ball rolling for them. Couple rifles, Kiko Brock gonna be swinging with the Vandals. Well, Sheriffs, and Mata with the Marshal.
2 Sheriff, 2 Vandal, 1 Marshal.
And immediately down and dusted. Brock, Kiko, the Vandals making quick work of them.
Yeah, and with that kill, Kiko 1 away, so could just give him the spike, go for the plant. Meanwhile, they're going to try to overwhelm Mata, who's having some uncharacteristic whiffs with that Marshal. Just can't quite connect him. So orb grab, as well as that kill over to the hands of Narrate, who's now also 1 charge away. You can put that Marshal to use. The players still working their way over towards B.
Okay, so basically अब एक 3v4 का रीटेक है जिसमें 2 वैंडल्स है और 2 शेरिफ्स है, लेकिन वहाँ एक मार्शल है.
Play a bit of post plant here. Have a lot for this. Sees couple molly.
Who you want to be able to scoop up these remaining kills. Get towards that orbital. Second molly goes in. And Aves and Levin will go down. No one going to be giving him the angle. Aves will just fall to the spike alongside the Rays, and that's going to be a clean 2-0 start for
वाह, असिस्ट लेके गया आवेश
NRG.
के सामने.
Now this next round gets really interesting because both Phoenixes have to run it back. So generally, as the defender, you're going to want to hang on to yours. You're going to want to wait until your opponent uses theirs before you start trying to make a move, before you kind of have to react, unless you've got some kind of crazy good set play in the
भाई इतना अटक क्यों रहा है?
back, which I wouldn't mind here as KC. I want to see them get a little bit more proactive
अब तो फ्रेम्स भी नहीं ड्रॉप हो रही.
But you got to keep pressing as the defenders. You got to keep looking for those extra angles, extra advantages. So it looks like Aves again, he was widely left pretty unchecked at Dish against Paper Rex, but NRG wants to test him early. I think this again screams good homework to me.
I will change. राही चला चल राही राही आनी है तेरी दुनिया.
Forward, wants to try to get this elimination. Extra charge towards the Nightfall. Scuba doesn't even really go for this at all, or does he just drift back? In a 1v5, so it seems like he's just going to patiently wait, see if anyone comes exploring, which Levin might just do. A couple players going to be working their way through. He hears that noise. But with a haunt, that's going to force his hand. As here comes the spam.
एंटी
will be the one to collect it. And
नहीं समझ रहा भाई. बाकियों की स्ट्रीम में नहीं अटक रही, किक पे नहीं अटक रही.
Yeah, this is what was working so well for KC against Paper Rex, was their ability to react to the fast hits in really interesting and smart ways, and also it's just the tempo that they're willing to play at. Like, you want to play fast? We will absolutely be matching that with our rotations on the defender side, but Aves doing a great job again, buying a little bit of time and then making a cheeky little maneuver while NRG is dropping down into sight, uses that seize to stall them out a little bit. They just want to press forward. They're just committed to that hit all the way. Naves plays it beautifully. Tees up, I think it was DOS9 who got a couple kills on the backside there. Big round. Speaking of DOS9, going to get his ult from that orb grab.
Nothing spotted on this side. Prowler, I think.
भाई बहुत अटक रही है.
Forward. They can become increasingly convinced that this is going to be an A hit. Convinced that this is going to be an A hit. Spike could be passed.
Sorry guys, बहुत ज़्यादा अटक रही है.
Reassesses his plant spot, and that's going to be the orbital out very early. Mata can now go for this one safely.
I don't know where to watch again.
Nice patience being
Twitch
shown
पे.
there.
Wait on we watch on Twitch. Because इतना नहीं अटकना चाहिए.
At the door, the smokes are there, but that first flash, so good. Finally stopped by Brock. Scuba's lurk took a long time to really come to fruition. That's going to be an early timeout here from Bonkar. Already seeing some things he doesn't like and what's going on with his team. And
मैं बोला ना YouTube का ही कुछ सीन है.
wants to maybe talk about some
बाकी it wouldn't have been the thing.
Liked the idea on the pistol, where they had some help for that player that goes for the plant on A site. Here they, yeah, like you said, left Mata to his own devices. I think it, you know, if you lose that three-man stack trying to hold that door, that's just it. That post plant is cooked. Especially if Scuba's just a little bit late on that lurk.
Something like that, if you have the refract set up and you can get the spike planted.
Right.
I'm not sure how the timing exactly works out on that one, but
it felt intentional that they were trying to bait out that orbital strike, right?
Yeah. And got the tap, and they managed to get that out effectively. It's just everything from there. And Scuba just a little bit too late to try to get in to find that backstab. If he's able to get that right as obvious about the drop down, he's probably going to be good for 2 eliminations, but the rest of the team is just already dead.
Right.
So the timing's a bit more wobbly here for NRG compared to what we were seeing on Breeze, and KC are also just a lot more dialed in and in tune with this map.
Yeah, and I love the way Narrate plays. He's such a good Phoenix on this map. He has such good instincts, great timings with the flashes. Reads his opponents incredibly well. This time, that Prowler is going to find the trip. And a weaker buy. Funneling these into Mata this time.
Trying to bait Sugetsu into a swing there, but none to be found. Push past that cage, and Kiko will be able to win the fight. Doesn't even take that much damage. Of course, has the heals as well to push him back up towards full very quickly. But
Nice one, Kiko.
forward to Canteen. Dawson going to be struck down. The right. However, pushing forwards, looking for more. Nearly has him lined up. Can't quite collect it, but Aves still going to be good for one more. Nade to the corner. Kiko's going to be dead. No, he pushes forward. He manages to scale past that right before the explosion comes in. Meanwhile, Scuba unable to win this critical fight. It's got to be a one-tap from Kiko, but he can't commit to the plant.
I think he's going to go swing all the way over to A.
Only 35 seconds. He needs to get out of the audio distance to try to go for the sprint. And Levin is already cheating back, so instead, Kiko just keeping it paused for now, and now we'll rescale into B. I mean, it's brilliantly played. Whether or not
Kiko अच्छा खेला.
win, still yet to be seen.
He's got to run it back after this, though.
Still trying to check around, but eventually we'll have to go for this. But yeah, if he can get the plant, get into a safe position. Problem is, Levin has both blast packs, so he can get on top of wherever he commits to this run it back from. Will he even get the chance? No, he does not. Levin will just catch him in transit. And KC with his defuse will move up 3-2.
Oh boy. I mean, it's a hell of a go of it on what is effectively an eco other than the rifle of Kiko, which definitely found purchase in that round. Getting that first kill on Sugetsu. Absolutely insane. Sugetsu can't even do much out of that position, barely touches him. And then Narrate, 2 fast kills with the Phantom. Ooh, beautiful work. And they can't quite answer back. They stack up a little bit there. Scuba can't win that 1v1. Would have been crucial. Went fishing for it, was hoping that maybe Levin would get a little impatient. Try to deny the plant. Mata has the op now, though. Save up, big ult available. One away from an orbital strike for Brock. Kiko and Mata sitting on their duelist ults respectively.
Oh.
Gets out instantly. That's the run it back on. You're kidding me.
पर बिना रन इट बैक के भी तो राउंड निकल सकता है. जरूरी थोड़ी है.
3-player stack now on this north side, just hugging this tripwire.
हग देंगे भाई. Hugging this tripwire नहीं, hug ही देंगे.
Ray and Sugetsu here at B. There's just no easy way to try to get access to the site. Run it back, going to be committed. Narrate spraying and praying, trying to see if he can find anything before this one does expire. But there's the backstab. Levin arriving, instantly able to find 2 players as Brock and Ethan will get taken down. The Phoenix ult gone. But no, closer to trying to get this plant in play are NRG. Completely surrounded.
Save कर लो.
To be alive, but with this operator, I mean, what are you meant to really do? The first shot ringing out, unable to connect. Now he's going to be struck down. Scuba having to try to fight his way out of here. It's going to be good for the one, but has to hightail it out. There's just no way to rescue this round. He'll plant his feet, and looks like KC will show the respect that Scuba earned from that previous map's performance. They won't go chasing, but they say thank you very much. You just handed us an operator as well as a 2-round lead.
Perfect.
I mean, it's just crazy work. The way that they're able to then maneuver on the map. They start just taking space. This is exactly what you wanted to see out of KC on this defender side. They have such a good feel for the flow of this map. Meanwhile, NRG looks a little rattled now. I mean, that is a brutal way to start the round, too. You throw up that blaze wall, you just get spammed right down. Lose that key ultimate that you're going to have to chew another round through, potentially. They are going to buy into this. They had enough in the bank. Operator actually not going to be carried over by KC. They opt to not go for it. Are we looking for some kind of wombo here? Convergent paths into the orbital strike, potentially. Ethan starts out on the north side of the map, looking again for KC to get aggressive, but now up to play a little more default. Boombot's not going to see anything here, though, so they're going to lean over towards B. Scuba starting to clear sewers. Starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable for NRG, like they're already behind the curve in this round. Trying to spread the map. They're trying to sell some attention. See footsteps sent out by Ethan. That isn't a ton of info there. So I don't think KC makes much of a change.
That's a quick backpedal, Lahan, towards that north side to make sure they're not getting pinched here. So for now, because nothing's spotted on Dish, they continue to just leave 3 players on B. KC have a very strong understanding of exactly what NRG is doing. They're in pole position to counteract this.
Just have so much map control.
Well, to run it back from Kiko's going to have to go hard to the paint. This paint shell's going to be sent out. Showstopper looking
Oh!
over the top of Kiko. Will be able to find the one that orbital strike now going to be called in towards Canteen with a push forward. Dalsine able to find those 2 kills. Ethan and Mata both struck down. Now they have to rescale forward. 13 seconds remaining in the round. Brock, the spike in hand, trying to commit in for that plant, but it's going to be Kiko at front gen. He's able to find one, but he cannot escape. The round is over.
सीन हो गया.
The spike just cycled to the ground repeatedly as Narrate arrives.
सीन हो गया बर्बाद.
That costs them so damn much.
This is great stuff from a couple players. DOS9 just on the very edge of that orbital strike, able to push forward at the last moment when they least expect it, finds 2 huge kills. Oh, that completely throws things into chaos for NRG. But the thing is from the get-go, from the beginning to the end of this round, this was KC on top of NRG the whole way. And that's going to force the second timeout already from Bonkar. And it is so annoying how well KC plays this map on their defender side, man. They are so smart. They use their information, their space control so well. And then they kind of surprise you with moments like that where they're aggressively positioned when you least expect it, when you think you've been given the freedom to at least maybe get the plant down. No, no, no.
That's just a pistol in the anti-eco. NRG have been struggling. And even with the immense amount of tools that they had available across all of these rounds, they've not been able to make anything stick. Orbital, Neural, run it back, all committed into that to no avail. Just one little cheeky backstab from Narrate at main.
This is a nice spot.
Picking off Brock before that spike could get into play. You can tell that it's chaotic. NRG, they have no idea where their advantages lie, where they're safe on these sites. If they can't figure that out, then this is going to be us moving over to Haven. Sugetsu will be forced away.
Look at the reads. Look at the reads, though. They know as soon as that arcade orb is tapped that they're going to be given space over towards Dish. They throw out a haunt just to check. It's like they know what they're going to do. It's just like Breeze for NRG, where it just felt like they know what their opponents are going to do before they do it. Same with KC here. They're mirroring them at every step of the way. So now NRG going to keep going. See if they can make this maze a little bit longer behind them to trace.
They want to keep trying to potentially sell fake, maybe just get a flank going through. So Scuba is going to be sent in behind as Nightfalls are going to be exchanged. Mata the one getting caught by that. As a paint shell towards Sands. Not going to be able to find any damage here onto the waylay. Throw out the ready. Right corner is able to find Kiko. Tucks back out the safety, and Mata just not in position to try to counteract that. No trade to be found. Scuba now dead. The flanker absolutely noted. Sugetsu gets the Neural out. And the jig is up. Ethan able to find one with that Spectre in hand, but it's going to be a hell of a lot more necessary as he does manage to find yet another swap of the guns. 1v2 for the 2-time world champion.
2 times.
To speak of for 15 seconds. Stays tucked away. There's been no tap at the door, but doesn't know if that late flank could have come through from Sugetsu had he sprinted down towards the south side, so has to just wait this one out. But it will just be a
नहीं रे टाइम बाय करना था ना.
in his sights. 6-2, the timeout's not mattering.
ओ भाई साहब 6-6 कर लो डोसा भाई.
As KC continue to run away with this map.
I mean, it's just so hard to find gaps in this defense that KC has. And again, every step of the way, they're mirroring you. They're re-clearing space. They're checking to confirm, okay, are you actually committing to that side of the map? Yeah, you are. You're not rewrapping through the north side. Okay, that means you had to have gone through sewers, so now we can be ready to pivot and hit you at
पूरा schedule दिया है रे Twitch पे.
And it feels like NRG just cannot respond, cannot recover. They're going to try another 4-1 setup. There's already a ping out over on this. Feels like KC has something ready.
It feels like NRG are just out of ideas. 4-player push to Arcade, try to grab the orb, trying to make an exec happen, but Narrate just peeks out. He manages to find.
Finally, 2-for-1 trade at least.
Lana works up into tower, grabs that Phantom. And you've got Levin encroaching on the north side, still going to be contained by that trip for now. Spike will be recovered.
2-for-1 trade is not good at the.
Lays up, tries to take some space, but even just the spam from Sugetsu manages to connect. Tag to 89. Swing in. Mata will be able to find the first, but Sugetsu is a little bit faster. Still found Scuba.
Repositioning from Scuba is necessity.
Right into the back of 11, who's just ready and waiting with that outlaw in hand. Brock now. Try to clutch this out in a 1v3. Just the one Molly to try to buy some time. Already, an immense amount of damage going to be suffered as Sugetsu will run him down.
The molly was good, but the timing was not.
Guaranteeing a lead at the half, and given the way that these rounds are going, it's looking to be a monstrous one.
Yes. I mean, they're so smart this time, leaving that extra player out by the trip for a long time, playing a little bit of contain around the site. I mean, at this point, I don't know what you do. Narrate starts this round off with a bang, finds 2. He's playing so smart around that orb. This time they give him a different look. They are like, okay, they're going to tap this orb. We'll give it to them. We'll make them think that we're not contesting it this time. But little do they know, we lie in wait. That's 7 streaked together. The buys struggle here for NRG. 2 Phantoms, 2 Guardians, and a Bulldog. 11 holding that tight angle. Man, I don't know what he saw there, but he was ready for that. That was just a timing.
Okay, well, one of the best starts that NRG's had for a little while is Narrate. The door is going to open, and Mata's going to be taken down before he can try to go for the dash. Narrate still sticking around, still tearing them apart. Dostine now refilling that space, comes away with a kill, but will be traded back. We go into a 2v2. Spike still at Sands, now alone in the hands of Brock. Leg spotted, head clicked, but Sugetsu
8-4 कर लो.
has him outdone. Just too many layers for NRG to try to work through.
8-4 कर लो यार.
Bulletproof on Fracture.
It's a little mistake at the beginning. Levin gives away his position. Doesn't matter. I mean, Narrate is just so good on this map. It doesn't make sense. He is outrageous with his timings. He just knows. And he's so fast to react. Cycle through those run it backs. They always seem to find just tons of value. And this is just so one-sided so far. Let's see if there's any answer. Rock's got another orbital. Kiko has his. There's going to be some way that they can squeak one out, make this 8-3. Get 4. I don't know if it matters at this point. It feels like KC is too good on this map.
The up and over from Mata, just landing out into the open. Saturate. Chuck towards the corner. Nothing to be found. In fact, it's going to be Ames finding him through the smoke. Sugetsu gets Ethan as well.
They missed.
And nothing found. Run it back, committed to no avail. Only a smattering of damage onto the enemy fade. And the space that you would love to have for a post plant is very much taken away as Brock will fall. Scuba only able to find the one, but nothing.
9-3 कर लो.
9-2. KC continue to beat them back, continue to demolish. They're looking to make this a 10-2 scoreline at the half and quickly get us into map 3.
Oh, yeah. This is feeling like lights out. I mean, NRG's been forcing buys. They've been trying to scrape together some kind of round, some kind of way in, and they just can't get much. I mean, run it back used. They at least still have the orbital strike. The problem is you gave Levin his ult off of the defuse. Sugetsu is going to be 1 kill away from the neural theft, so all he has to do is kill the lurker or just find a late flank and then throw that through and basically probably sweep through the round, you would think. Big push out here, though. This might be, yeah, this is a problem.
Okay. Maybe a lifeline wanted to be offered up here by KC. It's beating the hell out of NRG so much that they started to get depressed about it. Decided, we'll give you a couple kills.
Playing a little psychologist. That's nice of him. Appreciate that.
Well, it's both duelists down. It's a showstopper out of the equation, so one fewer thorn in their side. But, I mean, we've seen so many conversions already from KC that even in a 3v5, I'm not convinced that NRG have this one in the bag.
No. The best news about this is you took out the showstopper. Like, that's actually the only reason I still have some hope. Okay, so Gets only gets one. Can't rip his ult. Aves and DOS9, surely not, right?
You don't have a Nightfall, but convergent paths with the orbital strike. If you can find out where these players are at, line them up, get the wombo combo. That should be curtains. There's the neural thefts. Convergent paths immediately going to be sent, but it's not the combination. It's a little bit disjointed here, a little bit too fast on the draw. Meanwhile, Brock is eating some damage in transit just to try to get that spike planted.
Guys, I want to rest around, yaar.
Opens a door.
Silent push forward. Aves trying to isolate them, but okay. The double stack.
In the back.
And now it is just DOS9.
Everybody is resting.
He's kind of accepted his fate in this round.
Not just me.
Doesn't want to give him the satisfaction.
Could just be a KD play.
In my Valorant, never.
Yamato knows exactly where he's at, so convergent paths just to lock him in place. They know that they have this one under wraps, so NRG at long last here in round 12 are able to find their first round win since the pistol and the anti-eco.
Oh.
9 in between for KC, a monstrous streak. And if NRG want to bring this one to a conclusion, then boy, it is going to have to be one hell of a defense for themselves.
I feel like going into stage 2 for VCT, Achilleos, that a lot of people are watching this, what KC has been doing on this map, and are going to be borrowing some of what they do and how they operate, and like the protocols they have are so good. I mean, it will be hard to replicate because players like Narrate are so good at Phoenix, it's unfair, it feels like. He's just better than you. He's got great individual reads. I mean, this time it isn't even necessarily all the utility. I mean, he's had some nice flashes, you bet. But he's just getting reads and then clicking on heads with those phantoms. It's brutal.
It's brutal.
I love it. I absolutely love it. He has been just stellar to watch on this map here at EWC 2026. DOS9 had a few good moments. Sugetsu played great. He was constantly shutting down Scuba on those lurks. Won the Cypher battle for sure. Yamada had a few moments, but haven't been able to see that Waylay really be the carry that it was in the past, like in 2025. Obviously, yes, there's been some nerfs, but still not a very, very good. Had again, a couple moments, sure. Kiko still putting up numbers, but that was just a masterclass. Both teams on their map picks have their defender sides absolutely exquisitely thought out.
Well, as we so often say, it's got to start from the pistol. They have any shot of being able to get this back, but Carmine Corp looking so damn good on this map. Like, even if you feel confident in your fracture, KC makes it through to the next round if they can complete this victory here. Probably going to have to consider taking it off the table. This is just It's looking too clean.
I mean, yeah, it's almost a must ban for anybody else the rest of the way through. I don't care what your permaban is. I don't know that anybody has a hope. Maybe heretics. You know, who knows? Vitality on the right day, but right now this team is incredible, absolutely incredible. And they go over to the attacker side. Just a clear there. So a little bit of presence known, but it's just a cipher, so that doesn't give you a ton of info here as NRG. They've still got the right read. I mean, the heavy gamble stack on to beat. Probably saw something in the VOD review and said, probably just going to try to NB a lot. Let's just gamble on it, but now they're getting impatient.
Mata does not have a refract set up, but it still will be good for the first shot. Wants to stick around as they continue to swing forward. He'll get himself a second, but Levin collecting a kill now, and the flashes out.
The
to
trades.
Kiko's feet. He gets struck down. Last pack forward. Brock barely able to win that fight. Surviving with 13 health. That does leave Narrate now.
They need to win the pistol.
But this is the danger man for KC.
Just a classic.
Just a classic now. Clearing of that cam. Over top of the tripwire as well. Swinging the corner, unable to find that kill onto the enemy Brimstone. Considering the molly. 9 bullets remaining. Molly on the close side, trying to isolate here, but just not really given fantastic angles. The shots just aren't quite connecting for him. Finds the first, Brock dead. The swing in, and Scuba will be
Not this time.
Gets damn close, but NRG will find another pistol. They need so much more from there.
Almost a throw here from NRG, who has a really good read at the beginning of this round on the tendency of where this wants to end up. But then they get a little impatient, start pushing out. The good news is Mata found the right timing there to get that first kill. And then Brock's able to hold the line with the Sheriff. Gets the bounding, blast packing Levin right in the chest. Narrate, I mean, you never count him out. You just feel like he's good for it. So fast, so agile.
He's still able to get those 3 charges.
Yep. I mean, I'm still not comfortable as NRG. Like, this still feels like a scary scary situation going up against an eco. Levin's the only one who buys up. Oh, there's a couple bandits in there. I take it back. There's 3 bandits.
वे पता नहीं वे एकदम blackout सा feel हो रहा है. I don't know why.
I'm old and my eyes are bad. Leave me alone.
Very true.
Yeah. Give me a break.
There's a couple shots out and a triple push down through this double push rather down to this underpass. Orb to be collected, and right now 1 away from having the run it back available. And they're now going to take that as their prize and silently drift away over towards the A side of the map, where Mata not too far off, but
still
back into a position with that outlaw is going to prove to be even more difficult.
This is, in theory, plantable. It just depends on the timing here from Ethan. Nobody's going to open this door. They're just going to silently bypass it. Set up a player to watch the flank and throw some smokes and potentially get the plant through. Ethan just can't contest this. He's all on his own for now.
A reposition, scale forward from Sugetsu, spotting out 2. Mata now trying to scale up, get onto an angle where he can put that
Sugetsu
use, but Sugetsu just stays tucked. They do not suss this out quite yet. They have any way of clearing him whatsoever is going to be the question. So they're going to refight in towards Halls. The Haunt going to be destroyed.
Oh my god.
Narrate still there, ready to strike as he scales forward, ignoring that molly. He's able to find the first, looks for the second. He cannot make it happen. Ethan turns back with the classic in hand. And Sugetsu now says hello. Cleans up 2. Havez down low. Levin trying to strike. Manages to find the 1 and Brock. The last one standing. Trying to bait him, wins the fight.
निकाल गए.
But ends up being so costly.
बहुत cautious और बहुत गंदा round था ये.
And that is proven. Only 1 player surviving.
The way that KC is using space against their opponents, they're setting themselves up in all these tricky places, and it's making NRG have to think about so much. Then they use their own smoke.
Kind of बहुत ज़्यादा गंदा round था.
They hide in them, wait for them to come through. Cut right down the middle of the NRG formation. And even Narrate's frustrated, man. He wanted that one so bad, and they were oh so close. A really good attempt from KC. NRG gonna start throwing money into this. Want to get this bonus to go. They know how crucial it is. If they can get this round to go started, they could maybe offset KC enough, but Narrate sharp Ethan down.
There goes the IGL. Dead off the rip. Mata spotted that tripwire. Make his way back over, trying to reinforce this.
It's a 6v4 actually.
Starting to creep their way over here. Seems like they overall do have the right idea. It's just a question of can they hold the line? Can they stave them off? Convert this bonus. Run it back. Push forward over towards Sansoray. Just getting spammed a little bit, and he's able to find Mana through that smoke. Scuba able to snap him back. He's able to find Levin on top, but he and Brock will both fall, and now suddenly it is just Kiko.
Kiko 3 मार दे.
Just a Guardian in hand. Given the money, given how much they had to invest because of how close that previous round was, he has to save this weapon. Rotates over, can swap over to the Phantom at the very least, get that upgrade. And perhaps
Guys, after this map, we'll go.
To tuck away and try to play this out quietly. It's going to be a 5-round advantage here in the hands of Casey once again as they hit double digits.
And look at the money. Look at the money for NRG.
It's gone.
They bought into this. They felt like they had to convert this bonus if they were going to have any chance in this map. They can't do it. So it feels like this is certainly KC's, and we will certainly be going to Haven. Just so impressed. Love the way this team operates. The protocols they have. Individual play. Narrate. Again, outrageous how he understands what's going on. Knows where players are going to be. Just seemingly has a vision in his mind. There is a technical pause, but my goodness, so good, so good.
Well, hopefully something quick and clean like we had previously. Already, Edmund feels like he's backing off a bit, so hopefully be able to get back into this NRG. I mean, they're holding on by a thread. This is still possible. We know that this is a team that is capable of getting themselves back into a winning position. Just given how, if map fluency makes sense to say,
sure.
KC seem perfectly fluent in Fracture.
Absolutely. They're linguists on this map. They're poets. They have more than a fluency in the language. They're experts. And it's just fun to watch them on the map because I'm just like, no, I get it now. I see, because you have that Cypher util over there. You know that they're not coming that way. Okay, you threw your haunt deep that side. You even left a player there lingering a little bit to get some info. Okay, now you can wrap down to the other side of the map and you can make these fast rotates. You're always all over the place. And you're doing such a diligent job of keeping track, of every single little thing on the map. And then you have some great ideas yourselves in some of these post plants and other things that we've seen that have been really, really devastating to multiple different opponents. Paper X, Kate, and NRG now suffering. And is KC going to be able to do it again? Lose the first map, run back 2 to take the series win. Granted, it was their map pick last time when they dropped the first map. But I think they realized, oh, hey, we're pretty good at this Fracture thing. And NRG lost to Paper X on it, so surely we're better than them on it too, right? And yeah, that is 100% correct so far.
Sometimes transitive property does end up working out. It does make sense.
10 to 5, guys.
Continue here for KC. Up by 5 as to get ready to go back into this. Just that one Phantom carried over by Kiko. Slight little investment of the sheriff for Mata.
सही बात बताओ, सिर्फ 5 ही राउंड का डेफिसिट है, ज्यादा नहीं है. What if I say
in this map? You see just how outfragged everybody is at the moment.
That's it. I mean, Kiko's been trying, but
Hack it up. Hack it up. Move on.
Let's go.
Just go to Haven.
Yeah. Poor Kiko.
The Phantom will change hands. And the question becomes, can Ethan find value with this?
He passed it on to Brock now.
Can Brock find value with this? Ethan on that peak, probably wishing that he still had a Phantom. It's going to be zoned away. Molly down to 70.
ये दिलदानी मारा.
Position in halls, two players on the opposite side, and they're just going to back off. They say, okay, we've probably drawn all of them to this side of the map. We have full control of north side. So let's send the spike there. Mata gonna find a second.
दिलदानी मारा.
For collecting.
That's huge. Mata, all of a sudden. No way.
Trying to find this, and he will. Narrowly wins it out. Perhaps the gun for himself in a water round to be found after the start. Still not out of the woods yet. Levin will be able to collect that spike. If he could get the plant in play, obviously we give him a showstopper, but he's still going to have to try to take control of the site itself. Ethan tucked into the corner. They're picking that out. Convergent path's going to be sent. Showstopper. Now drawn. Gets lobbed in. Smata. He's been given such a lifeline. They're trying to clutch it.
NTR.
And what a roller coaster of a round. A devastating start into what looked like a guaranteed thrifty. Then wrested out of their grasp again. KC. They might stumble along the way, but it feels like they're always reaching their destination here on Fracture.
Yeah, Mata has to start re-clearing that space because there wasn't a commit from KC, and he's going, well, they're either taking a pause, and I have to find that out for my team, so I have to throw my body on the line a bit. And he gets 2 big kills. That actually gives them hope, gives them a chance, and then nope, dashed, thwarted. Mata with the op. Moving a little bit further
This is
forward.
an all-in. Okay, spotted the one. Saturate gonna be chucked in. Ken still take the dash out the safety, but overstays to find another.
अब यहाँ से hopping चालू किया और निकाला ना.
Will get the reveal. He's frantically trying to escape. Will be able to do so, but Kiko can't say the same. Tries to go to the rescue, pushing forward, and Alves will be able to strike him down. Trail leading the way at the top of the plant. Not being fully committed to yet. NRG playing a bit of ring around the rosy, but look at DOS9. He might be able to find a monster timing. They are not watching for this at all.
I know exactly where.
Stabs him in the back. The neural depth now. Invested to reveal the final 2 players. But NRG, they go from a favorite situation to now back into a 2v2.
It's going to be really tough. Going to try to double up.
Scuba on the push, and Alves trying to hold the angle, but Scuba will be able to take him down. The Molly now going to be invested. He wants to try to hold this one up to half, and the Molly ends up going too deep. He realizes that it's not connected, so the defuse can be stuck. NRG, you're rescuing this round, but cannot rescue that operator, I don't believe. It gets taken into the hands of DOS9. Out and away from these players.
All right. Starting to feel like maybe there's hope if they can keep that operator. What a nice little setup they have there. Just outside of that cyber cage, gives himself a little bit of a window. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's a flick he's practiced.
Yeah, we did get the glimpse of it there at the very end. So the operator does get carried over by DOS9, now into the hands of Levin.
Right, so now is NRG. Not going to have enough money for another one. Mata's just going to go pushing again. Feels like big part of the success for them has been taking control of this A main space. Meanwhile, Alves, well, hold on.
Oh, they are still so very at risk. Back in the back of that box. Curveball in hand. And they will make their exit. A lot of KC now wanting to try to potentially re-clear this. As Haunt over the top. Has to be cleared by Alves. There's some presence on the north side. Going to be noted. And this is starting to make NRG feel like perhaps this is still going to be an exec onto this site.
चैट देख रहे थे कहाँ खो गए. अरे यहाँ खो गया यार कि कोई है ही नहीं. यहाँ कोई है ही नहीं तो मैं यहाँ फिर पकअप हो गया ना मेरे साथ. मेरे को बुरा लग गया. मैं थोड़ा मैच एंजॉय करने और आसपास ही लेफ्ट राइट ही करने लग गया, और क्या ही करूँ. बचा लिया. सो वही चीजें हैं यार. आई एम सॉरी अगर मैंने चैट में आउट किया तो.
2v3, the operator dialed in from that main angle with the tap. Kiko drags across, finds the third, and that should be round done. 11 to bound forward, but no real way to recover this. I'm not sure how he stayed alive for so long.
Take off!
But he cannot rescue the round. It's Kiko with a massive 4K to keep NRG in this game.
And also, Mata to the rescue here to bail Kiko out. He was dead to rights.
I felt...
Run it back. They thought they had him. But just enough there.
Just enough to call
The problem is ना कि इनिशियली बंदे होते हैं तो मजा भी आता है, पर उसके बाद कैसा है ना कि बंदे गायब हो जाते हैं.
That big piece of the puzzle, seemingly, again, is going to give them, I think here, coming out of this timeout, probably something Casey's talking about is, you know, if that op's going to be an A main, what are we going to do? How do we want to maneuver around the rest of the map? You know, maybe Zipes feels like they saw some of that space being given up at Dish. That's something they could play for a little bit more. Leave an extra player to try to go for the lurk through main to maybe deal with Mata when he's busy trying to help out. Defend the execute from that direction would be something I could consider happening here, or maybe just some fast B hits. Just really put them to the test. Right now, NRG found their groove. They found their answer temporarily, and that's that A main setup. Just either being aggressive or having the op there. And they're not going to go for it this time. They're going to show a very different look. And I think this is wise. Unless, well, they might try to set up a bit of a sandwich outside of the door.
Look at Sugetsu, though. The Outlaw, 4 half armors, 5 with the regen. So, yeah, everybody going to be susceptible to this.
Smart pie. That's something that, you know, NRG is constantly doing, is going for those half armor buys. So he's looking to try to outduel Mata, and he's going to.
He's got it. Shades of Nats. Operator on the floor. It's now a 2-2 split for NRG to try to keep this going. Molly going to be spotted off the cam. Brock trying to scale on this angle. He's going to have to use the Molly just to try to cut off access from that RK side. Meanwhile, Pivot's going to be coming in, and Ethan wisely does backpedal away. Sends out that operator shot, trying to scare them off, usher them back over towards the heavier stack. Ball in, the ride the tower.
Nice! The good double peak.
Back into a 4v4. Drop down from Kiko, playing this one very boldly as Narrate tries to take that space. Can't quite clear the corner, but still will be able to gain line of sight. Get rid of Kiko. Back into the player advantage, the back stab. Getting ready to come in, but Brock can't even hold his own against the player right in front of his very eyes. Aves comes up with the goods. Scuba dead, and Ethan now to just grab up that operator. Hold on to it for dear life. KC will move up 12-7. NRG are going to have to run 5 in a row just to get this into overtime. The money is just not on their side.
No, let's see if he's able to even keep this. Sugetsu, isn't going his way just yet. Still a little bit time before it explodes. 2 are going to come.
They have to know he's going to have the op. You have to be suspicious about this angle. And they are. They're revealing the haunt, and Ethan still trying to go for this peak and nearly gets punished. And now is none the wiser whether or not he has been surrounded. Will be able to retain this weapon after all. But even then, it's nearly taken out of his grasp.
Well, I am so impressed with this timeout. And they identify the problem and find the solution. It's that A main op. And they needed something, and they found it. And it's a simple little trick. The Outlaw into Sugetsu's hands to deal with that. And it makes the map so much more difficult for NRG to read and to control. and they start getting put in awkward situations. That orbital strike, Kiko knew it was coming. Had to get out of there. Narrate just too sharp with those phantoms, man. Just so impressive to watch him operate with it.
And speaking of which, it's Tower for Mata. No one playing on that side, at least at the moment. Some early contention around a Hall.
And this is KC now just starting to probe a little bit. Just trying to push NRG in towards the sights.
Ethan's at risk here. And now he's dead. Elbow spot, Sugetsu clips it. Kill is found. And now Mata going to be left on an island. Spike is still going to be dropped back over in the attacker spawn, but right over the side, Alves can recover that. The question is, which do they decide to go for? They've got more players scaled forward outside of B, so they're going to look to attack into this one. And Mata, yes, he does have the full health. Almost certainly would still be dead on the swing. Looking for that shot. Critically for him, it does not come through. Saturate connecting on to one. Alves going to be held at bay. The rotation's coming in. NRG trying to get their players clustered together to hold the line and keep this map going. But Mata's just given absolutely no sightlines. Meanwhile, Brock still waiting for this late flank. He's reading it well, but this still keeps him contained away from the rest of the squad who are falling to the wayside. Peek in, Brock able to find the one off screen.
Oh,
but
no.
arriving in tower, takes the op into his own hands, and at the cost of all of his health. That's what it took for Brock to win that with the Spectre. And now, it would have to be two of the fastest, crispest, cleanest shots that we have ever seen to keep this map going. They all know that this is the end. Sugetsu, an absolute beast, a monster in these last several rounds for KC.
Hello guys.
They clean house on Fracture, and they send us to map 3.
We won't be watching map 3. थोड़ा बहुत काम बचा हुआ है, वो कंप्लीट करेंगे. ये देखो, the things are all closed. कुछ चैट्स अटकती है क्या रे? चलो, I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow with what? With LCQ Pacific. Till then, bye bye. Take care. See ya.